she's scared of the dark. I love being light, but I don't mind being in the dark either. As I put my hand over her, and the tones just came out, and she said it was like a white angelic came as soon as you started, and it just helped her alchemise what was going on. And that's when I thought, this is what I'm meant to do. So all your problems are not going to be sorted out by sitting with the medicine. It's not.
No.
It's definitely not. I feel like you need to do the inner work first.
So today we welcome you back on to the 1084 podcast. Today we've got Michelle on, who's gone through a spiritual awakening and is here to share her story. So Michelle, how did your spiritual awakening come on? And has it been easy?
No, it's not been easy.
I'm
not going to lie, I'm still in the depths. I've got dressed today, and that's in 2 weeks I've got dressed. So how did it come on? I think it was really strange. A woman came in for a massage, a facial, and she told me I needed a massage off her. And when I got there, she said, I'm just going to tap on you. And I'm saying, like, why are you tapping on me? She went, I said, I thought I was coming for a massage. She went, I know, but you needed this. Wow. She tapped on me, and then she did some healing on me. And I felt something. I don't know what I felt. I can't tell you what I felt, but I felt something different.
Like
something,
a shift.
Something shifted in me. And at that time, I think I was still partying a lot.
Yeah.
It was just before July. I went to Beat Herder, and I knew then at Beat Herder that bit last time I partied. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. It took me a fair few times to even realise, and then still all clinging on.
No. I think that was the last time I partied, and I just knew then. But I was still drinking, and I was still associating myself with the friends and everything else who was in that scene, and I was trying to pull away. There was something that wasn't being connected with them. And then I went to Dubai, and I went on my own to Dubai, and that was massive for me. I was drinking heavily because I was on my own. I was in this like party hotel, and I was a bit nervous, so I was drinking really heavily and partying, and ended up in the penthouse suites and just being literally an arsehole, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I woke up the next morning, I didn't remember anything. And then I did it again the next day, and I didn't remember anything again the next day. And that was, for me, I was then throwing up on the plane in front of an aesthetic practitioner, a doctor. Wow. And I was like, there was something inside me, and I knew that I could normally handle all that and I wouldn't be bothered, but there's something inside me were like, this is not me. And I'd phoned my friends up, I said, I ain't drinking again. I'm not partying, I'm not drinking. And if you are coming with me, if you are on this and supporting me on this journey, I can't be associated with you anymore. And from then, I lost so many friends.
Yeah.
And, but obviously your best friends stay with you. They're still doing what they're doing, but they're still my best friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, from then, that's when I started really trying to find my path.
Yeah. And
things were falling into place for me. As soon as I decided that's enough of that, the synchronicities, the people at work, instead of just having like normal clients were coming in, they were all like Reiki practitioners or healers, or they were all something to do with spiritual. I'm like, it's just bringing all these people, aligning all these people in my way for me. And then I went for a walk. I did my Cambo. I did three lunar cleanses.
Yeah, I did. Powerful stuff, isn't it?
I didn't feel a thing.
Didn't you?
Like, I wanted to feel so much from it, but I literally was sick, and then, like, why aren't I feeling anything?
Did you not find it days after, though?
No.
It wasn't like, because I'd heard of you having experiences whilst in it, but it wasn't that for me. It was days after I had my awareness that certain situations had bob up and reflect things that in my past that I couldn't even remember. So that's why it did it for me. It wasn't like psychedelic or in any way that way.
Just I didn't have no reflections on it. I didn't.
Right.
I felt very empty.
Right.
I felt very empty, and I was filling my cup up. But for me, I don't feel like I got rid of any anger. I didn't get rid of any of my trauma. Nothing came out for me apart from all my toxins and all alcohol and everything else that I've been doing. But I didn't feel any shift in. I think maybe my expectations were too high for it.
Yeah.
But it gave me a clear vessel then. Mm-hmm. That's what I was. I was then a clear vessel. What happened then?
Did you, just touching on it, you know when you went through the Luna, the thing that I really did notice is, at the end of the first one, I was shaking uncontrollably when he was playing the music at the end, and then it got less on the second, on the third it felt like it just left. I don't know if you had the similar.
The last one I was shaking.
Well, yeah.
The last one I was shaking, I went and I was still shaking and freezing, like ice cold at home. Mm-hmm. I was drip white. It lasted for about 3 hours. I was quite concerned because I hadn't been like that on the other ones. And
right.
I think he said at the time that was everything coming up from my liver.
Right.
From the colour. I don't know if that's true. So, yeah. But I for some reason, I want to go again. It's like,
yeah.
why? I'm getting called. I'm having dreams with the frog.
Yeah.
So it's like Cambo's calling, and I feel like I will do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna do it in a different scenario. I think I'm gonna do it somewhere else. I'm gonna go to Bali. So I think I'm gonna go do it in Bali actually.
Yeah.
But after that, I went for a walk with a few people. This was the first time I met the community, like some of the community, and I met Ange.
Yeah.
And Ange would do it in her Cambo as well. So we got in touch, and then I think I went to a few meditations up there.
Yeah.
I was felt like an outsider still. I was doing what I needed to do, but I wasn't feeling anything. I was doing all the things that I needed to because I knew what I wanted. I knew there was something there, but I still wasn't feeling anything. I had no connection. There was nothing. I was just quite numb.
Right. Yeah.
I was very numb.
Can relate to that.
Yeah. So I was searching.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't a crier, by the way. I'm leading up to something now.
Yeah.
I never cried. I from past, a lot of things had happened to me, and I built it up in this hard persona. Very soft with everybody else and very loving, but with me, I was very hard. My walls was up. And then I went to a retreat, and the woman who was doing the retreat said to me, "It's going to change your life." So I've been on loads of retreats. I'm like the retreat queen. It's not going to change my life. And then there was a bunch of girls there, and they asked us to lie down. And I felt like when we lied down, they said it would rage release. I'm like, I've not got no rage. Like, do you know, like I'm all love and light. I've got no rage. I never cry. I'm absolutely fine. I'm healed. That's how I felt like, because I didn't have no release on camera. I'm like, I must be healed. I must have done it.
Yeah.
Little did I know. Jesus Christ. So they did the rage release, and nothing was happening. Yeah. I was still very numb. So that's when I learned about intentions. So the next day, I saw everybody else, and I was so jealous. They was literally shaking, screaming, crying, and I'm like, why can't I do any of this? Why am I so disconnected? And that's what I was. Yeah. I was so disconnected from everything, even myself. I was just that's how I could describe myself, as numb and disconnected.
And that's why that word that you said there, disconnected to myself.
Yeah. 100%. Like I didn't know my own feelings. Like I suppose after Cambo, I was that disconnected to myself. I wasn't even thinking, oh, this has happened because of this. I wasn't even reflecting.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to reflect. Now I do, but I didn't even know how to reflect. So the second day I went in with the intention, I'm going to release what I need to release. Whatever needs to come up is going to come up, and I'm going to surrender.
Yeah.
So them two words have been my words now for the past 7 months, is just surrender and intention. Yeah. Surrender and intention.
So you're giving it permission, isn't it?
Yeah. Because as well, to connect, you've got to give permission anyway, aren't you?
It's so, I find it so difficult though to remember it all the time. We were on about it the other day. It's like someone were going through an altercation, And they're like, can't really be connected to certain person. I says, well, if you can't do that, why don't you just pray? And they went, I forgot. And I went, we're human. I'm like, you cannot remember it all. It's like, that's why I'm here to reflect, and that's why someone through the day will reflect some at the back when we're just down in mud and we don't realise what's going on. So when you're in alignment and stuff, people will reflect it back and go, oh yeah, you forgot this, but it's all right.
Yeah.
And you can get on your way then.
Yeah,
I
needed some guidance. I think that's what I needed at the time, because I was surrounded by people. I was surrounded by friends who were partying. I was surrounded by people who was projecting on me constantly. I was constantly projected at. Yeah. And I didn't have any of that support to actually be vulnerable. Then I met the girls. So on the second day, they didn't even know anything. They didn't know any of this with me.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I went down, and it took them an hour and a half, and they didn't leave my side for an hour and a half. Everybody else, I didn't know this because I've got my blindfold on, everybody else had gone, and they still wouldn't leave me. There were 5 girls working on me, literally trying to move the energy about. And then one of the girls just whispered in my ear, and she went, your mum's behind you. And I was like,
that's just lifted.
Oh my God, I'm on a cry now. She just went, she's saying, just carry on. She's so proud of you. And that was it. That was the crying came, and it didn't stop, and the crying in it. And obviously I just lost my mum, which is why I started on the spiritual, trying to, let me have a minute.
No, you're right.
So my mum was giving me permission, I think.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
Felt it, you just said it then.
She has not left me. She's probably here now. She's not left me since, ever. Every time I have any kind of, I'm going off track now, but every time I have any kind of process or anything, everyone's like, your mum's with you, I'm like, I know she's here. She's always with me.
It's just an energy. And it's just, when they say angels, my perception of it is just angles of light, and that they can come into you and they can help you at any time that you give them permission to.
Yes.
It's just we're taught that there isn't anything after. Yeah, we just say they're up in the sky, but that it's all around us and it's all knowing, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful that you know that, and it is a power, and you can feel it, can't you? My friend, he's recently lost his dad, and he said it's like I can feel him in wind, and he went and did a challenge and stuff, and it's.
You do.
To have that as well, he says it felt like you came within him, because you are your ancestors, and you can tap into that anytime.
I think that losing my mum brought up the biggest wound again, like the abandonment. I did feel, and I felt really angry with her, because my mum, she was quite poorly, but she didn't change any of her life. Like, she had nothing to live for. She wasn't that bad, but it's like she had nothing to live for, because she didn't try to change her life. She was still drinking. She was putting cocoa in her wine.
Yeah.
You know, she and I was fucking angry with her. Like, so all that came out eventually. It just came out, and I screamed and screamed and screamed. And I think when the other girls from the retreat came around, they were like, we thought it was from the other house. It lasted that long. We didn't know what was going on. It didn't stop. Yeah. And I had that much, because I've never showed emotion. I didn't want to ever show anger. I didn't ever want to.
Maybe thought made you feel weak, or.
Yeah, or if I'm angry, I judged people for being angry. I didn't want to be that person, so I've always ate it up, people pleaser. That'll come up soon. People pleaser, and just keeping it all, showing that I'm all this love and light person.
Yeah.
When I'm not really. Like,
we've all got
dark sides. We've all got dark sides, and it's just integrating it all, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so on that day, the video of me, I'm actually screaming, and during my screaming, I start singing, and then the light language came out on that very day, my first ever process. And that led to me going to a plant medicine ceremony. Yeah. There I had so many past lives were coming through me, one after the other. Like, it was just relentless, and it's all based on the same. I don't want to go too much into it, but it's all based on the same thing.
Yeah,
and it was all the past lives, and it's been reoccurring.
And you are breaking it.
To every life, and now I'm breaking it. And it was just coming up and coming up. I think I must have had several processes that night. But while I was processing, the singing would come in, and it sounded a bit tortured at first, and then it sounded really angelic. And one of my friends who was sitting for the medicine was really going through it. And we're quite connected.
Yeah.
And Yaz and Morgan said, "Come here." And I'm like, oh, I didn't know if I dare.
Yeah.
And come here, and as I put my hand over her, and the tones just came out, and she said it was like a white angelic came as soon as you started, and it just helped her alchemize what was going on. And that's when I thought, this is what I'm meant to do.
Yeah, I can feel it.
This is what I'm meant to do. I know full well that this is.
It's stepping into your power.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And thank God that they let me do that very first time.
Well, that's the synchronicity, isn't it? That's the synchronicity of you wanting to put that work in to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And you didn't even know what you were chasing. You just knew there was something to unpack.
Yeah, I knew I wanted bigger things, but I always thought it was, I always said, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be famous. And my kids were like, yeah, whatever. And then when my business started to become more successful, that's when I got a lot of recognition from my kids, especially when they've always thought I was not going to do anything good with my life. Because while they were younger, I couldn't work. The dad didn't want me to work. I had to be a stay-at-home mum.
Yeah.
And it was hard for me because I had this pull to want to do more. I've always had the pull to want to do and be more.
And the work drive, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Where were I at with that?
Sorry, I jumped in. I shouldn't
Where
have
were
said.
I at with that?
You were saying about actually not being able to work and get now.
Yeah.
So when did you start to build this business by yourself?
I've done a lot of things since leaving.
Yeah.
But I was a window sales lady.
Yeah.
I worked selling windows in one of them offices, and I'm like, this isn't me. And I went to the boss, I went, this isn't me. He went, it ain't you. And I went, what can I do? He went, do you want to actually be a rep? And I'm like, okay, yeah. So it gave me all the teaching to be a rep. What it didn't teach me was how to measure. Yeah. I remember going to my first appointment. I'm like, I don't know how to measure it. And I'm measuring it that way and measuring it that way. And there's this guy in it with this big like mansion in Skipton. I'm like, I had all these windows to measure, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I mean, I sold the deal. I sold it, and then they put me on every job. Then yeah. So I mean, I've always done good at everything I've put my mind to.
Yeah.
But then I opened a little sunbed shop. I didn't want to work there anymore, and my ex paid me out with some bit of money that he owed me from the house, and I didn't want to dwindle it away like I was partying.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll open a sunbed shop, and it was so successful. It was like a little community. I had a sofa in there. Everybody used to come. I mean, it got to a point where I didn't want people there.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
get out.
Some of the people putting their feet on my pillars and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, on my white pillow. No.
Cool.
And then I think someone said to me that you can't just run the sunbed shop on its own. You need something else to go with it. So I was quite tomboy that way. I wasn't into beauty at all.
Yeah.
And I went and did beauty school for 2 years. And one of the ladies went, you need to go into aesthetics. And I went, no, not a chance. And I remember having like £2,000, £3,000 left of my money. And it were either go on holiday and me and my partner dwindle it away or put it into something.
Yeah.
So I went and trained, and when I trained, they were just like, you're a natural at it. I was teaching people on my course.
Yeah.
Like I'm teaching people how to do lips on my course. And when I got back, I had 5 clients waiting, and all my clients for the sunbed shop were just waiting, wanting to watch me do all these lips, and I was just there showing them.
Yeah.
Normally people are shaking, so I just knew that I was going to teach then. I knew that I was going to teach it, but it took me, I think, 4 years, maybe 3-4 years, because I didn't want to just teach straight away. You've got to know it, haven't you? Yeah. And then I opened the academy in lockdown, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I opened a big academy, took out a lot of expense, and then I wasn't entitled to any money. So we're like,
Oh dear.
so yeah, but that was in Halifax, and it just took off.
Yeah.
It just took
Strength to
off really
strength.
well. Yeah. Yeah, it's sometimes it's busy, sometimes it's not, but I love the quiet times as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I could not be one of them people that are in Christmas Eve doing hair, or I mean, no, it's not hair, but I drive past them and I just think it's so sad that you're here doing that. I mean, that might be what they want to do,
Yeah.
but for me, I don't want that. Success for me is about spending time with my family, my friends, and being able to travel.
Yeah. I think that's all we all want. Like, for me personally on this, I've never wanted fame. It's not something that I want to chase. I know when I first said I'd do the podcast, I'm like, I want to be number one. But fame's never been a thing that I wanted. I've never wanted to be putting myself out there. The only reason why I'm wanting to do this is because I feel like I've got ideas to bring forth and build communities, and this is a way of doing it. I think it's also a way of, when I went on this awakening, I wanted that deeper, meaningful conversations like what we're having now. I wasn't getting that from my friend circle, and
Kitchen parties.
Yeah, you get
Same story.
So, what would you do if you won lottery?
Honestly, the same story. Every kitchen party, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
How many business ideas have you had?
Yeah, it's mad. But I get them business ideas now, and I want to bring them to this community of what we're doing, and I really don't want to chase fame. And there's things of wherever this goes, it might change where we have to live and stuff, and that's something I don't really want to do. But I've got to embrace this path of following my heart, and my heart wants to do it. So it's not about the outcome, and it's
getting your ideas and the whatever's to the masses. Yeah. How can you do that any other way?
Sat in your bedroom going, I want more meaningful conversations.
Listening to all these podcasts and just I mean, and without actually making the commitment to do it yourself, like that is what I want to do. I want to, obviously we've talked, I want to do my own podcast, 100%. I want to do my own podcast. I want a YouTube channel. I've been struggling to be seen.
Yeah.
And I think now I know what my struggle was, is because I didn't believe in what I've done. I've spent thousands on marketing courses.
Yeah.
I've spent so much. I mean, I'm good at talking. I shouldn't have a problem to be seen.
Yeah,
but when in the aesthetics, I don't want to talk about filling lips, and it doesn't fill me with joy speaking about that, teaching people about that, like online.
You're not enthusiastic about it.
I'm not. And I'm struggling to put a post on. I haven't put a post on in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling to do that. It's just,
I had the same with Venetian plastering. I wanted to do it when I first started, but I like this just the hours, and it's going to take me away from my family more than it would do. And is it something that I want to do? Because I've looked at how many hours it takes out. And then I still look at now, as we're having this podcast, my followers on this is lower still than the one for the Venetian. But I'm like, I ain't following numbers. I'm following my heart. Where this goes is where it goes. I'll have more regret if I don't follow it up in this podcast.
Yeah.
I know that it'd kill me if I went and did the Venetian. I just know it would. I love doing stuff with my hands, but it's not where I want to be.
Yeah.
It's not going to open the doors. It's not going to build the communities. At the end of the day, you're putting a fancy, shiny wall in someone's house, and most of them.
As good as what it's going to do for them.
It doesn't give me that buzz as I walk away. It's like, yes, great. I worked in a mansion. Wow. It's like, it's not fulfilling to the soul. The soul. I light up when you said that your mother, the whispered your mother's here, and my whole body lit up because I know it's true, and it's an energy that's felt. So when you've got to follow the energy of the positive, that's the thing that, and we're on about light and love, and they're the things that light me up, these conversations and the communities. And if we can do that just through the conversation and light someone else's day up, job done today.
If they sit
And
there
it's
and they're
not even a
thinking,
job.
if it's just one person that sits there and thinks, do you know what, I'm going to stop doing this, I'm going to stop doing that, I'm going to follow what I'm aligned to be. And
It's following your heart, isn't it?
100%.
Once that heart's open, it knows where it wants to go. It's only your mind that's like, oh, we need this, I need that, it's the money, and it's...
Where I'm still struggling with now. And this is the thing, like, I'm in so much disconnection from where I'm meant to be, because I know that once I do this, I'm not even got a doubt that once I do this, which is...
It's like getting the attachment away from it,
cutting
the cords
from obviously doing the aesthetics business. Like, I have to cut the cords. I know I have to do that. But the fact with me is I'm getting my idea was I'm getting the money to save because I want to have a retreat house. So this is what I'm getting given now, because the clients for teaching are still coming. The actual clinic side of it is just dead. But the teaching side's still there. So while the teaching side's still there, I'm like, right, I'll just make most of this, get the money built in, and then I can save it for the retreat house, because then I've got my own home, which is a retreat house that then I can hold space in. So that's where my chain of thought was coming in. But I'm still in this disconnect. But we were talking earlier, and like, I do think that just going through and changing it just to skin would be the way forward, because then I don't have to give the business up, I don't have to stop teaching. And
well, you still got to earn money, that's the thing, and it is, unfortunately, that's the way it's got to be. You can't just cut it all off and go, oh, my family's not eating tonight, or I'm not, like, you've got to pull yourself away. But this journey, I think what it's doing for everyone who's going through a spiritual awakening, it's giving you that awareness to realise that you're out of alignment, we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. And I think the universe is rewarding people that are going and putting themselves through the paces, because as we've spoke off air, and what I tried to bring up is you feel out of alignment that your job that you're doing, but you're trying to make a change. But this change is scary because you're cutting away something that you put so much time and effort into, and it is your child, and it's about not knowing where that next step is or where the ending is. But once we realise the universe has a better plan for us, and it's that letting go. I think they said on the Know That Thyself podcast the other day, once you realise the letting go, and you're always held. You're always held anyway. It's the opposite way around. We think we're holding on to it.
100%. And I think what's kept me going is the fact that the girls, what I'm doing for the girls, like I'm giving them a career, and I'm giving it, and they all say it to me, you've given me so much confidence, and I love being around you. It's like you've been coaching. So I know that this is the way I'm going. I know that it's going to be I'm going to be coaching, and I'm going to be doing all this. I'm doing my shadow work coaching course at the moment.
Exciting.
Got to do your own shadow work first. That's why I've been in the depths for 2 weeks.
What's your thoughts on like the shadow work? Because obviously we talked off. I've definitely got my shadow. We all have. Do you think that we're constantly going to always have a shadow, or do you think it's going to be casted out?
No, I think we always... I was speaking to my shaman the other day, and I said to him, because he's actually a shaman, and he works with shadows as well, which is really good for me, and that's so in alignment. And I was speaking to him, and I said, are we always going to have to deal with our shadows? And he went, always, because he has these shadow cards, and every time he does me, he's pulling out a shadow card that is totally me, and he's like, this is you. And then he pulled one out, and it was him, and he went, oh, and he actually got upset, and this was on Zoom, and he got upset, and so he's still now, years and years after doing this work, he's still dealing with his shadows now.
I think I've just asked a stupid question as well, because I was just, as I'm talking to you, I'm listening to you still, but I'm like, well, sun's out every day, and that casts shadows every day. I'm like, yeah, there's always work to be done.
There's always healing. We're always gonna be working with shadows. Like, there's always gonna be a part of us that we're embarrassed of, or we want to keep to one side, or keep that little bit. I mean, there's why do you think, it's going a bit deep now, but like horror books and horror films are out? It's them people who are writing them are letting their shadow out by expressing it in that.
Yeah, expressing their experiences. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. It is. It's a bit deep, is that, isn't it? Because
it is. But we all
have that. We all have that sick person inside of us.
Well, it's them. But I've started to learn that you're not your thoughts either. So them sick thoughts that you get about stuff, just go, nah, it's not me. Yeah. I've noticed it with stuff that have bobbed up, and I'm like, I know it's not me. And we've seen it like on your cartoon character. You've seen it when you were growing up. They're always the angel on the shoulder and the devil on the other. But you are the one that gets to choose what you act upon. And once you realise that them thoughts aren't yours, you can cut cords with them. Yeah. The more that you act upon that, and like.
Obviously, you can't cut cords with your shadow.
No.
That's you've got to integrate that shit.
Yeah. No, I get that.
You've got to bring her in. Come on, then.
Yeah, you've got to release it with love, haven't you?
Yeah.
And it's.
Yeah, definitely.
But the more the times we do choose them bad thoughts and do them bad activities that we were doing, is the more it becomes a part of our persona, more of this character.
Well, this is what we have, free will, and this is why God gave us free will. Because we're in our souls here now to enjoy this human experience and to give us free will, because that's part of our ascension. If we are choosing these bad things, then we're not going to ascend. We're going to stay in the, is it like reading 4D negative, 5D negative? I'm like, no, I'm not going to be on that. I'm not going to be on that one.
But it's like, because I think I explained it before. I see it as maybe God he created the game, and then through the choices that you make, he wanted to know how many want to stay on Earth where it were like hell or whatever, because it is like the Satan's playground, innit? If you look around, there's more slip holes to go into, and it's all fun. Sinning's been fun along the ride, and I'm not going to say drinking was fun. Taking drugs was fun. It was fun. But
like I whisper that then.
I know I did as well. It's like, but it was, and it's like, but
I mean, I've had some of the best times in my life,
and that's still divine, because I've met some great people through that as well, and it means.
And we could have done it without that. That's the thing. We could have done all that without that.
We could have done, and I think that's what Sam was. We were on the podcast the other day. Says, "Don't be." I've noticed you were reflecting back on me, because I like to label stuff good or bad, and it's not. That's a limiting belief. It's just from where your mind is at that point. You were taking drugs because there was no else going on, because you couldn't see it, so you were limited. It wasn't that it was good or bad, and it's to say to live in this world but not to be of this world. That's like what Jesus and what he was trying to teach is you can be like, just living is a gift. Like just on this morning, for instance, it was like pink sky for that 20 minutes.
Beautiful.
But everyone just don't take it in. Most people don't take it in. I'll go out and stand it. It's like 20 minutes. That's all you're going to get of it. But that's a gift. I don't
out of my window.
Yeah, I don't have to be on psychedelics. I'm literally just happy to be able to see that show in the morning.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you don't have to have all to add to it. But it's about
gratitude.
Gratitude.
The more grateful you are, and the more you give, the more you're going to receive. It's the law of the universe. At the end of the day, it is the law of the universe, and I think that's where we all get stuck in. We all get stuck in our shit that we're in at the minute, like, or whatever. Not me, for instance. I'm not in any shit.
Yeah. That you know about.
But we get stuck, our reality, when we've got as money's not coming in, or as relationships are breaking up, or whatever, and we get stuck in that, and we're living that. So when we do that, we're living from our body. Mm-hmm. We're not living from our spirit. We're not, and that's what we need to. We need to then, in them times especially, because that's when we need to do it. Is we need to go inwards, and we need to live from there, and be grateful for the littlest things. You need to find the littlest things to be grateful for. The littlest, even if your life's turned to shit, find out the littlest thing that you could be grateful for it.
Yeah, and it's having the lens to look at that, because we can have the feelings is on and we're looking at what's coming, and if we want to see the world shit, it'll be affirmed to us. If we want to see that we're going to be grateful, it is affirmed to us. It's the more that you're on that. So, where do you see yourself if you're not aligned with what you're doing currently, as you feel? Where do you think it's in? What's
my plan?
What's your plan?
Well, I don't want to say too much.
No, not like
because I don't want to like.
Where do you think your powers lie? Because obviously, did you sing before?
No.
Before you had that.
Tone deaf.
Yeah.
Literally tone deaf. And what's been happening while I've been in ceremonies holding space is the women have then started singing.
Wow.
So I've realised that I am activating their voice.
Yeah.
So there's something in that, and I tested it. I actually tested it because I when I'm singing in the ceremony, I'm just singing in the ceremony.
Yeah.
But I actually, on the last ceremony, I went up to one of the girls who was really reacting to me. I could see that Kundalini was going off and she was really, really reacting to me. I said, I'm going to give you a throat activation. I'm going to give you a voice activation. Turn around. And I was working on her and I was coaxing her and doing all these tones with her. And the next minute she starts singing and it was angelic. It was beautiful. She's like, what is going on? I'm like, wow. And it was the most beautiful moment I've had holding space. I was looking around to see if anyone was watching. I'm like, why are you watching this shit?
Yeah. But that, again, is about being present and just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like,
it was beautiful.
You want to pinch yourself a bit?
I was just like, how am I doing this? And then last night I was on a Kundalini circle with someone new that I've never been on with before. And I was literally like my voice was going, I was singing, it was like opera, it was going off.
Yeah.
Angels were coming out, Isis were there, it was just all going off in my bedroom.
Yeah.
And then one of the girls messaged in the group in the morning and she said, I've never had this before, but I did my sound bath and all of a sudden I started singing and it's really angelic. And I'm like, what? What? Like, I know now that what I'm doing is affecting. When I'm sitting for somebody else's online circles, I start holding space because I'm drawn to hold space.
Yeah.
And they're feeling it. And it's not the first time. It's the first time someone said they're singing, but it's I'm doing other things.
Are these like on Zoom calls?
Yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It's profound. Like,
yeah,
I've never.
That's crazy.
You literally,
to have that reach as well.
Yeah,
it's insane because
you can touch someone like that and the body will move. Yeah, they're really.
Because my limiting belief, like, again, this is only from me. Like, what I've seen and to my knowledge is like your torus field of when you're holographically put out. It's only like 8 meters that can touch, and that's why it energetically in my mind is. I didn't really want to connect with Zoom calls because
it's unreal.
But were you saying that as well?
It's the intention.
Yeah. It's crazy. Mind you,
and it's not that. It's like so yesterday I had Isis came to work through me yesterday. She was working through me. The Pleiadians came to work through me. So they're working through me and using me as a channel and that's coming through them. It's just
Yeah.
It's madness. It's absolutely profound.
Again, I've just had some because I know that praying works. That it's been proven that praying works, and that can happen all over the world. If you pray for someone on the other side of the world, it works. So I guess my own.
Yeah, you need to get on that.
I know.
I'm trying to organise. I'm not trying to. I've had an idea to organise a mass, for the war that's going on, and a mass like healing. I want to do that.
We had Dean on, and I'm gonna have to redo Dean's. We will be redoing Dean's because the camera were a bit out of whack, and like I said, teething problems. But Dean had he wanted to do an earth walking day, so everyone gets bare feet off the ground. And it's like a walking prayer. I know, like Joe Dispenza, I know does one that's just a walking meditation.
Love Joe Dispenza.
And I've had a trip before, and it showed us all on the ground connecting at the same time because you're using the power of the earth.
That's aligned then.
So it's funny that you're all coming on and saying similar things.
Yeah.
And this is what it's about. It's about collaborating and using the ideas and having a specific day that we could do so.
So could get all our consciousness together.
Yeah, because if you think you put prayer along with grounding and then the intention...
Oh, my Kundalini is like affected. It's like, yes, this is what's happening.
But
I've had just a confirmation.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. Because
Yeah.
if you watch any cartoons or whatever, like Japanese or whatever, what they all do is when they're fighting, they're showing they've got powers and it's firing out. They're all got, and you've seen it with like wizards, they have staffs. It's grounding, for bare feet on earth. It's all there in front of you all the time.
I ain't got a staff yet.
No. I ain't walking barefoot in this. I did a retreat last year, and I were barefoot in it, and I just for the full hour I wished I had my shoes and socks on. It were too cold.
It too cold. I hate it.
It was like November, and
I'd rather do firewalking.
I said after, and I just went, never again am I doing that. I'll get a staff or just put my hand on the ground a little bit. You live and learn, don't you?
So is that what the staff's for, permanent grounding?
Yeah.
I've just bought a grounding mat, actually, like for my bed.
We've got the sheets, yeah.
Yeah.
I found with the grounding sheets, I was sleeping in like mad. But it might be different for you.
Does it affect... You were sleeping in?
Yeah, sleeping in. Because I don't have an alarm.
I don't sleep.
Don't you? Oh, it'd be great for you then.
I literally... I try, and my brain is that working. My brain works more in the night time than it does through the day. I should sleep through the day, actually. I'm just thinking about that. I should sleep through the day and then be awake at night. But yeah, my brain works more in the night.
Owl, then.
And it goes off. I've even got an owl that comes and sits outside my window. I can't see him for a while. But yeah, sits outside my window. I think it's my guide.
What I did as well, it might help you, is like when I did after ceremonies, my mind will like I'd stay up all night, so I just started journal it because it's like all the tabs that you have open. It's like you're
talking about journals now, aren't you?
Yeah, and you're journal queen, aren't you?
I don't journal, but I buy them.
Oh, do you just buy them? You don't.
I've got like 26 now. I got one for my birthday. I had a mermaid on, obviously, and I loved it that much that I went and bought another 8 of them. Yeah. But it's made me now. I've started journaling, and I love it because it's made me organise. So I'm gonna have like an inner child journal, stuff that I want to write to my parents about, and I've got a journal now for everything that I want to actually, and that was what stopped me from journaling, because I didn't want to start something and then want to put something else in and it all be a mess, because I've got kind of...
Sporadic. I've got a few, but I've got 4 or 5 books, and I've jumped off doing it all the time, but they're like for scribbling down ideas. I did like it when I was journaling more constant, but I feel like I end up writing the same things, and it gets a bit mono.
Yeah, mine. I feel like mine are going to be really. So I've got journaling for how I'm learning, because I'm learning about. Obviously, I'm holding space doing Kundalini. It comes from within the memory, but I want to learn the logistics of everything, like I want to learn how to hold a better space, how to open the space better, because I'm working with girls at the minute. I want to do it for myself. When I want to do it for myself, I need to be able to do that. So I'm learning that at the minute. I'm doing a shaman's course. I'm actually doing far too much, probably, all at once. That's why I don't sleep.
This is why I think we were talking, and we were like, we'd only just been put in contact with each other. This is the first time me and Michelle have met. We've talked briefly on the phone, but it was like reflecting where you are now is like reflecting where I were a bit ago. I just wanted to take on the world. There was so much that I wanted to do, and it was like, and I remember having a reading, and she just said, "Focus on 2 things because you're burning out." And
I've just told you, I've just had a reading, and she's like, solitude. Now, you need to just have solitude. But I'm coming out of. The journaling thing is really good for me now.
Yeah, good. It is
really good for me. And I'm coming out of... I've got these commitments that I have now.
Yeah.
I can't get out of these commitments because I'm paid and I want to get in them. But I'm coming out of that need to want to do that and try and learn things off myself. Does that make sense?
You've switched that awareness on, haven't you?
100%.
And it's a game changer. The awareness, you can't attack anything without awareness because you don't know it's there.
100%.
And it sounds mad.
Once she told me in my reading, she said to me, you need to you've burnt yourself out, you're healing here, there and everywhere. She went, you're not looking after yourself, you're not doing anything, like you need to solitude. She told me 3 months ago, solitude. and I still haven't listened. So literally, Spirit's put me on my ass. I've been
you'll
poorly.
do
I've
it.
gone to the depths, and I'm in the depths, and I've been in solitude now for 2 weeks, and I absolutely love it. I'm like, I don't want to go back out of the house. I just want to be here. I'm in my own inner world. I just absolutely love it.
Yeah, because you're getting to know yourself more.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see what serves you and what doesn't. And that's what I had, and it was beautiful. But I would very much wanted to attack the world all the time. And I remember having a Reiki with Marisa, and after it, she just went, "Are you tired, love?" And I says, "I'm knackered." She went, "I've just been in your head for 10 minutes," and she went, "I'm exhausted from 10 minutes."
That's what they say to me. That's exactly what they say to me. Like, oh, it must be hard being in your head. And I'm like, it is. It is. Someone help me.
But now I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like I'm sound. Even though there's a lot going on, because I'm focused only on a couple of things, it's leveled me out.
Yeah.
And I think I've spoken about it before, the psychedelics, they're a great tool, but I were overusing them. I were using them then as what I did for alcohol to escape, because it is fun, it's a light show, but overuse is not good for anyone.
It's no respect for the medicine. And then the medicine's going to put you on your ass for that, because it's like, you haven't got respect for me, I'm not going to have respect for you. I was
still using it in a respectable manner, of
but
like with intention, but
it.
Overuse. But like I said before, you don't know you're overusing it until you've overused it. And no one knows that middle road until you've took it. So you've got to take it as far as you can.
I need it to connect. I need it to connect to source. I can't connect. I can't sing without it. This is what I used to say, and I was spelling myself every single time. I can't sing without it. I'll have a gram.
Yeah.
That's not doing it in the right. I was so abusing it.
Yeah.
And I think I was meant to do a ceremony for my friend this weekend, and I've found it and to myself. I said I'll do it, but sitting with myself has made me realise I don't need to do this. What I need to do is the shadow work. That's what I need to do. If there's any problems with me, it's not going to come out. It's not going to come out in the.
I can see where your mind went with it though, because it did with me. It's like you think you need it because that's the thing that opened the door.
Yes.
So if you open your door, you think that's the key. You're like, I need that key to open all these doors. It's like, no, there's a different doors to open, different keys.
Obviously, there's a time and a place to sit with a medicine, 100%. But I feel like to get your problems, all your problems are not going to be sorted out by sitting with the medicine. It's not.
No.
It's definitely not. I feel like you need to do the inner work first.
It's like you said when you first came off air, it's like you need to integrate what you've been learning.
And now we're never doing that. The girls, if I hadn't had the girls, honestly, I don't know where I'd be now, because they're there. They tell me all the time, like they're literally, Michelle, you're abusing the medicine. Like, you don't need that. You do not need that. You are powerful. You have got so much power in yourself. In fact, go within. When you asked me what were the best advice was, they kept saying to me, you don't need extra learning. You don't need any of this. Find it from within. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm listening to all these other people giving me all this advice. And even when they were giving me the advice, it was feeling wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm still listening to them more than me. And I'm thinking, oh, they must be right. Yeah. And I'm doing what they're telling me to do. And the best advice I would give them was that, like, it's in within, and there's no one knows what you need more than what you need, you do. Nobody.
Yeah.
And this is what I said to them when they were giving me advice to do on the phone. I said, I'm really sorry, and I know you mean it with love and everything else, but my intuition is telling me no.
Yeah, yeah.
So even to them now, I know what I'm going to take. I felt like I took my power back as well. Like, not that they were taking my power away, but I felt like...
You wouldn't even know they were doing it, but there's only you knows that it isn't sitting right.
They weren't doing it intentionally. No one does it intentionally. I find that I do it to people. Mm-hmm. Like, it was, you pulled me up on it earlier when I was talking to somebody about that, and you went, they need to find out from themselves.
Yeah.
Because I try help everybody.
And you start,
and that's probably where I'm
taking the lesson away. Yeah, you're taking the lesson away from them.
And they've got to find out for themselves.
I can resonate with that because I've done it so many times.
You want to be a saviour, but you end up being the persecutor every time, every single time. I'm like, I can save that person. I can do that. Like, you can't. And that's where I'm learning now. And this even just 2 weeks of just being on my own has taught me more about myself than in this 48 years of being alive.
That's mad, isn't it?
Honestly, like I'm just like, wow, 2 years,
That's crazy.
2 weeks, all this journaling.
Yeah, but and then you're so grateful for it, and it's
I feel like I'm gonna get what's the word? Given some like gifted.
a gift. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's coming because of how integrity I've been with everything, the choices I was telling you. I've got a really big opportunity to come, and it could be really good for me. But literally, if I go for it, I'm selling my soul to the devil, and and I can't do it.
Because then it's a feedback loop, and it'll just send you on to more stuff of that nature. Like
Yes.
it'll be bad deal or bad deal, and it'll be more things that you don't want to do, but because you're chasing. That's where I see the world now is changing. Is because we've got that awareness, and it's like well, there's two roads you can go all the time, and a lot of people are chasing the money, and it's not fulfilling. This is like
Do you
when
think the younger ones? I feel like the younger ones are changing a
they
little
already
bit.
know that, yeah.
They do. They are
Because
aren't
they're
they?
bringing it out in
the
you.
millennials, like
Yeah,
they are. I mean, not my lads, but
Yeah,
they'll get there.
They'll get there because
They will.
this is the next generation, and it goes on so many morals and values that we all stick by. Is if, for instance, if money was the prime thing that is going to bring so much happiness, why are so many celebrities, billionaires, millionaires killing themselves in droves because, or not
I
happy?
think that's reptilians, isn't it?
Yeah, well, so
I know what you're saying, though.
perception on reptilians is they're using the reptilian brain. We have 3 different brains, don't we? So you have higher mind, which is more heart opening.
Yeah.
The reptilian brain, when people say reptilians, I just see it as they're using the lower mind. So it's chasing sex, gluttony, food.
Yeah.
It's all the lower nature stuff because it's the animal nature. And something that I've learned recently is when you're seeing on coins in the UK or whatever, or you'll see George fighting, like he's fighting a lion. He's not fighting, and people are like, what, there were lions in UK? No, there weren't lions in UK. He was showing him fighting his lower nature. The lions, the lower nature within you. So you're fighting it to overcome it. So it's the lower nature, like the reptilian, your animalistic mind for all them things.
Yeah.
But once you like get into that mindset of you're chasing, you're in your heart center, you're in your higher mind, you're putting others, before yourself. Like that, you're saying your gift now is to light people up, and it were beneath your fear, wasn't it? Beneath your fear was your strength, and now you've got that. You don't want to hold on to that and go, look at what I've got. You want to go, this is my gift to give to you, because that's what the creator did. When the creator created all this, it was to give.
That's just building the confidence to actually do that in it as well. Like I know that if I don't do what I've been gifted to do, I'm not giving the people what the need. Is that make sense? I said that wrong. I was put here to do this job.
Yeah.
I was put here to do this, and if I don't do that, I'm not in alignment. Again, and it's
your destiny,
injustice
kind of
to the people that need it as well, because it is actually really healing.
Yeah, and the thing that I've heard of guests and what I've in my own experiences, I don't want people to feel the way that I did. The loneliness, the detachment, no connection.
In your awakening?
Yeah, like, because I was playing a character that wasn't me, like, or the drugs, or I say it like I was taking drugs all the time. I was taking it.
When we partied though, didn't we?
Yeah, I was taking it socially, like, but the whole thing is I wasn't me, and there were an emptiness, a void. And the more that I've got to know myself, and the more that I'm in alignment with myself, why don't I want to share that? Why don't? And I think that's what you're trying to do, is your friendship that you formed with the other 4 girls. Are they all from down London?
7 of us now.
Is there
all
7?
together.
Oh, so you multiplied again.
It's go forth
supposed
and
to be women.
multiply. So
Mind you do multiply stuff to women.
That's his job. I went to when I first when I went to the retreat in May.
Yeah.
I think there was 3 of the girls was there, and then I went to Yaz. Yaz was doing her plant medicine in the yurt in her garden.
Oh, cool.
And I went there and I met Yaz. And then when I met Yaz, I'm like, Ange, you need to come up here now. Like, literally dragged her up. So then Ange came up, and then Michelle as well, she came. And all of us have literally got different gifts, and it's insane. Like, Michelle, before she did the Kundalini, she was in a journey, but it's give her she's now going into past lives. She's just given me a full year's reading, and she's done my past life reading, and it's been coincided with other things as well. So her gift is unreal. Like, we've all got these different magical gifts, and together we work so well together. We work beautiful together. It's really nice.
That's great.
But we can't all work together all the time. This is what the thing, that we go through, because there's not always... We live in London and Leeds, so it's quite far away, but... Yeah.
But you'll all learn from each other as well, won't you?
I'm learning so much. If I wouldn't... Like you said, you was on your own when you were your journey, and I'm so grateful that I'm not going through all this on my own.
Yeah. I did have people to vent to, but it wasn't like as close-knit as what you've got.
Yeah, I've got support, as in they've been there, they've done this. Just for instance, the advice, go within and just dope that you don't need any more medicine for this, you don't need to do that. Like, your answers are within, you need to take time alone. Like, it's really good, solid advice.
That's nice.
That I'm getting, which I think, me being me, I would have been, without their advice, I would have been like I was when I first talked to you, trying to do every single thing.
Yeah. But that's beautiful that you've got people that actually care. How long have you known these people as well?
Like, did you just see that?
No.
It wasn't the fly either. Just stop me in my tracks. Since May.
Yeah.
Since May.
And don't you think that is, for anyone that's watching, and it's just how quick things can turn around.
We've been together on a soul level.
Yeah.
Our souls, we've had past lives, many past lives. Like, Ange was my mum in a past life. I know full well she's been my mum in a past life. Morgan, it sounds daft, but me and Morgan have been together in a few different past lives as well. Yeah. It's crazy, and we're so connected. I've been in journeys where she can't express what she's feeling or cry, and I'm feeling it all for her. I'm literally feeling every single emotion.
Wow.
And we're all that connected. Every one of us has got connection with each other, and it's like when we see another girl, when we're doing the ceremony, like Con is a new one we've just added. Con, she literally, soon as she was in the ceremony, we knew she was one of us. We didn't even ask her to hold space. She was with us. She had the confidence to just do it. She knew what she needed to do. The remembrance came down for her, and we've been together on soul level. Like, it's just like we just want to mould with each other. We're just like, and I've never had that. I could never be vulnerable with my friends. Never be vulnerable. I've never been able to cry, or I've always had piss taken out of each other. Like, that's how our friendships were. Do you know, shut up, you dickhead. Like, it's nothing like that.
You need that friendship for what you're experiencing now. Because the people, I can't relate to my old friends. No. Because they're like, you're nuts in what you're experiencing. I'm like, but you haven't experienced it. And I also don't want to try and shake them into that anymore. No. Like, you've naturally gravitated to each other, and be able to have them experiencing that vulnerability, and it's a beautiful thing. To
be able to tell them your deepest, darkest shadows and worries, and then to say to them, I fucked up.
Yeah.
I've done this and I've fucked up.
But
and
there's no judgment.
And there's no judgment at all. And it's just like, it could make me cry with how happy it is, because it's just like, and we're so conscious, and the conversations that we have with each other, and then we say to each other, I'm going to tell you something now, because I know you can hold it, and it's coming from a place of love, but this, and this. And it's helped me be able to have better conversations with other people as well.
Yeah.
So we're learning off each other. We're all learning off each other.
Yeah.
And it's just this beautiful friendship. And I know that it's just going to get... at a minute, we're like, we don't want anybody else in this circle. You get like that, don't you?
Yeah.
Protective of your little bubble, because you do when you let people in, but when people come in, you just know full well.
Your body, like I was saying earlier, when you say certain things, or the people, I call my soul family, like you start talking and I just light up, and it's your soul remembering, it's that inner, and it's like first time that I met Dan through a recovery float. I met him through someone else, went and did a float, and as soon as I met him and I left, I came home to Zoe and I says, that bloke's going to be an influential person in my life, and now he's going to be the part best man at my wedding, because you just click.
And how long have you known him?
But only about a year.
It's mad, isn't it?
But it's like
just...
the things that we brought out in each other just through conversations, and we've helped his relationships and my relationships come forward. He's grounded me at points where I went a bit off a beaten track with certain stuff. Even though, and this is like, you need them people to ground you back in. Like you said with plant medicine, I did the plant medicine, and I had something that taught me not to eat meat, and it were...
Me too.
It were a trip that I needed, but I felt like the ego was out shouting about it from rooftops, telling everyone not to eat meat. Well, I don't think everyone should, but is it their
People
time?
People don't want to listen.
No, but it's also their time, and you should. When we given God's free will, that's God's free will for He chooses, or the divine chooses, when there needs to be nudged, not for you to go over pushing people over.
I wasn't doing that, but I was just like, if we want to get higher, if we want to evolve, we've got to stop eating meat. Yeah. No, Michelle, it's not your time. And I was exactly the same. Yeah. And now I'm like, I had meat today.
Yeah.
And I was poorly straight away afterwards, because that's what my son brought me, and I thought, I'm gonna just try it. And I don't like it anymore.
Yeah. And
something inside me just keeps wanting to have a little bit now and again, and it's like, but your body don't want it. Why are you arguing with your body?
I see it the other way. I see it as the body wants it, and the soul doesn't. And I'm only saying this because my experience is the soul can leave at any point, but the body can't. Yeah. So the body don't care about decaying. It wants to cling onto it.
I suppose it might be that way then. Yeah. But my body is rejecting
it. Yeah. Oh, your body, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, like I said to you, I had Donna pizza last night, and it doesn't fit me anymore. I didn't get up and do my morning routine of workout and meditation, and I used to beat myself up about this, and I think a lot of people who are watching this might resonate. Is you stick yourself in this guilt mode that you've done it, and
but that's the worst thing.
Because you're taking yourself down.
Your vibrations are lowering.
And now I'm like,
eat it, deal with it. Yeah.
If it doesn't fit, it does not fit your new lifestyle or the way that you want to show up in the world. Have a look if it adds a positive or a negative. And I'd say it adds a negative. It took that workout and that meditation that brings me closer to the day. I'm not saying it didn't ruin the rest of my day today. I just know it don't fit.
Yeah.
And it's just... there are things that you need.
It's just another confirmation, isn't it? Like, we try these things again, but it's because confirmation. Just listen. Next time, don't do it. Just don't, because it's not worth it. It is not worth it. I'm contemplating not having turkey on Christmas Day now, because I just don't eat meat anymore. Yeah. But inside, I'm like, I should have turkey.
Yeah.
It's Christmas Day. Why aren't I having turkey? Like, I'm spending it on my own anyway, so I'm not...
Yeah.
I'm having a meal for one, micro meal.
Don't microwave it.
I'll just go raw.
See, I don't know where I step with raw. I think I'd want to get to a point where it's just fruits and stuff.
Have you talked to Marisa about the raw?
Yeah,
Marisa
yeah.
did it for a while, and the benefits that she was telling me about the other day are unreal. Like, she felt absolutely unreal. She said the channeling was so much better.
Because it's live energy. And this is what I was speaking to you off air, and I've mentioned it a couple of times, seasonal eating. We're supposed to eat where we're at in that planet at that time. Like,
I think Charlie was saying that as well, like, don't go raw in winter.
Yeah.
But I said I'm going more raw. I'm not going to go full raw and go because I'm putting so much pressure on myself, and I don't want to do that. And that's the thing. I don't want to put that pressure on and then say, but I'm gutted now that I haven't achieved that, and then lowering my vibrations for that. What's the point? Like,
but how you've just said that as well. You've tried with the meat. You've gone back to meat and it don't fit. If you do the raw, say you try it for 4 weeks, or you try. I don't like to say diet because it has dye in it. But if you try this new way of eating, you try that for 4 weeks, and then you go back to the old way of eating, and your body's not resonating with the old foods. You know what you're supposed to be eating, but it all goes back to, if you don't fuck around, you don't find out. And this is how you've got on this path, and it's like, you're so excited to try all these different things, and that's what I was. But how would I, if I didn't have that childlike state to go and try new things, I wouldn't have known what is the right thing to do, because you hadn't tried anything.
Yeah.
You hadn't fucked around. So it is about finding your own way, isn't it?
And that's it. And I know that I've been talking to my friends about it, and they're like, Michelle, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that. And I'm like, but I want.
Yeah.
This is. I know I don't need to ascend.
Yeah.
Because I'm going, I need to do this to ascend, and because I need to do it to ascend. I want to be I just want to be a really clear channel.
Yeah.
For myself, and I don't want to be bogged in with all this stuff that my body doesn't need.
Yeah.
And that's the downloads that I'm getting all the time. I don't actually feel like like you were saying in these downloads, I've just realised in these past 2 weeks that I have been getting downloads, but I've been expecting them to come as an angel's going to come down and tell me something, or, you know, like Saint Germain with his violet flames going to tell me don't do this and don't do that. That's not how it happens. No. It's just a knowing. Yeah. And I was like that. I like the same. I don't want to eat meat anymore. I don't know why, but I just don't want to. My body is actually refusing it because it's poorly after I've had it.
Yeah. Because you've got that awareness to know that.
Yeah, with the dairy, the gluten, the wine, everything. I'm like, what can I have? And it's like when you go to a restaurant, what can I have? But that's for me.
Yeah,
it's not for anybody else. It's like, that's what my body wants.
Yeah, you can only, and you're sharing your experience. And
yeah, don't mean everybody else's body is the same, or everybody else has to do what I'm doing to feel that way. It's everybody's body needs different things.
Yeah, because I think for me, when we go to a restaurant, I think my new rule is I will allow myself to have if there's something I fancy on the menu, I'll have it. You know what I mean? But coming home,
but it's the poorliness afterwards.
Yeah,
that's actually the thing. Like today, me just eating the egg and the cheese just to see if that'd be okay. And straight away, my body was, no, you're not okay. You are not okay to eat this. And I was poorly straight away. Yeah. So to me, it's not worth it.
Yeah, it is.
It's
an hard one to learn, isn't it? Like,
yeah, but we keep going back there. Why do we keep going back there? What did you say? Gluttony?
Yeah, gluttony.
Yeah.
It is. It's unlocking the gluttony. And I've had a few people and they're like, you're not even fat. I'm like, you don't have to be fat to be gluttonous. You do not have to be fat. It's about wanting more.
Agreed. Yeah, I am so bad with, like, if I've got a plate of food, I'll eat every single thing on that plate. I will be that full that I feel ill afterwards, and then I'll stick a pudding in.
Yep, and the testament to like Zoe, which I'd take my hat off to her the last 4 weeks, I'd say, I'd said to her a bit ago, I says, I'm going to stop feeding you the same size plate as me, and she like looked at me to say, I want the same size. And I says, I shouldn't be feeding it because I'm more active in my work. I'm constantly burning it off, and you're not. So you shouldn't be eating the same as me. And I says, that's where you're probably gaining weight in places you don't want to. And since that conversation, she started to have low things. She started to lose weight. But even now, she's started to not even finish all the meal. she eats it much slower, and she'll only eat, like say if we have wraps, she'll have one wrap, and she'll go, I'm done.
I love how she's took that, because
at first you were like, you bastard.
Yeah.
And I went, no, wait a minute, let me. And
break that down a bit,
our relationship 5 years ago, yeah, she did wanted to kill me. But we managed to go,
calling me fat?
right, I've got a list. I don't mean it to be nasty. And she took it on board, bless her, and she went, I get it. And then she's, again, this awareness to try it out, and she has done, and she's seen the results. And now she's even took it that one step further, and she eats that much slower, and realise she only needs a quarter of what she was eating, and she's only having one meal a day. Which
we don't need it.
We
don't need any more.
No.
It's like, why do we was told we need breakfast, dinner, tea, and then snacks in between. What?
And I find myself as well, when I've eaten like a full plate, like you've just said, when she's done it next to, and I'll go, but I have been working out today, so I can have this as well. And you're like, the human condition to just want that more. Yeah. And you're like, I do it all the time, but I'm starting to become aware of it when we were on about it earlier.
Consciousness, isn't it? And that's what you've done. How hungry are you when you've had a big plate of food the next day, though? I'm like, after I've had a big Sunday dinner and I've eaten everything, even if it's not gluten-free, Yorkshire pudding, damp neck, everything. The next day I'm waking up, I'm like, I'm starving.
Yeah, because it's stretched it. That's how I perceive it. But
it is, yeah.
I enjoyed a Sunday roast in many years. I say about a year and a half, because it's just too pogging. Like, I love a Sunday roast. It just knocks me out, and I want to go sit, lay down, and I hate doing that now.
I love a Sunday roast. Like, I could eat a Sunday roast every single day, but yeah.
Could you?
Yeah.
See, I'm put off them, but with me and our kid, we used to have them. Because they were always like, we have a nice dinner. And we'd have like 3 or 4 a week. And then when it got to Sunday, the last thing I want to see is
a week?
Yeah, we used to have them all the time, like really nice dinners.
Oh, you were lucky.
Yeah, but it worked out. But you say that.
Microwave pizzas with beans.
See, that's why you want it, and I don't. It's like when your mum used to say, do you like that for you? You like them certain sandwiches for school or work or whatever? I'm like, yeah. And then it'd be same. She used to make nice tuna sandwiches. They were brilliant.
I mean, I didn't even get any of that. I mean,
you're making me feel really privileged.
I love my mum to bits. I mean, I love her to bits, but yeah, I was the parent. I mean, I was the parent. She went to work and we had to parent ourselves, really. Yeah, microwave pizzas with microwave beans. That's what we had. Or sausage, beans and chips.
We were privileged in a lot of ways, more than we let ourselves on for. But there's divinity in it all, isn't there? There's parts of, and I say this every time, and I'll stand up to it. I'm never slagging my mum and dad off, because they can only do the best that they can do. Because they always held us up and made sure we always had everything we needed. We maybe weren't great with financial stuff, because there were that safety net. So Zoe is great with money. I was not so. But Zoe's, from her upbringing, she's like, where did I get it from? I'm like, because you had to be. And I didn't have to be. But so like we've merged, and you start to get that. But it's all divine, isn't it?
It's all different. I mean, I never had anything.
Yeah.
I never had anything, and my archetype is manifestor.
Yeah.
Well, it depends if you're going to Sidereal chart or the normal chart. So
what's Sidereal chart?
So Sidereal chart is the 13 moon cycles. So
right.
It's the 13. So my Sidereal star sign is the Ophiuchus.
Right.
Which is quite a powerful star sign, actually, when I've got Sagittarius rising.
Yeah.
So I'm a Sagittarius, so I've got fire and water in this. The Ophiuchus is fire and water.
Cool.
And then I've got fire as my rising as well.
Yeah.
So it's quite a powerful combination of where everything is. But what was my point?
You were we were on about just how we all have different experiences.
Yeah, so...
I think that's divine.
But the money situation, so yeah. I cannot hold... I never had anything. Like I told you earlier, I was picked on as a kid for not having anything.
Yeah.
I had my Nick's trainers pulled off my feet and thrown in Rathmore Park and pond and just bullied to death because I didn't have anything. So when I finally got something, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I'm a manifester.
Yeah.
So I do actually, without even trying, things happen good for me without even thinking. I'll just think about it and I actually get what I'm
what you manifesting.
What I'm manifesting without even trying.
Because you're letting go of the attachment of it as well.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I believe the things that you say that you want but you don't need, you don't actually need.
Yeah.
It comes because you're getting that flow to it. The flow, you're not putting up a blockage because you're going, I need it.
Sometimes you just think of something and it's like, how did that get there?
Yeah.
How's that
well, we did it with this house, the house and the ideas that came from this, and it's because I didn't put, and I absolutely need it, but it'd be cool if I did, and there's no attachment to it if it doesn't, and I found it just comes natural then, but it don't. Mine in instant, I don't get it instantly.
I mean, it's not always instant. If it were a house, it wouldn't be instant.
No.
But yeah.
I actually watched the cool thing though. Yesterday they were saying with the yogis, they were showing like this palace in the middle of Himalayas, and they're saying with the powers that be, they said that were manifested through meditation alone into the universe.
100%.
And it's that fame. I can't quote you on that one, that really modern day famous yogi. It's him who were talking about it. But I think it's all possible. With it being a computer game, there's anything possible. I don't know what your thoughts are.
What do you mean? Like, it doesn't actually be, it wasn't even in existence,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
just, yeah, definitely. I just think and I also think it's like, I see things that other people can't see, and it's not visions. I'm not having visions. I actually see things, and I'm like, did you see that then? No, they didn't see it, because we're all in different timelines.
You said it earlier, you're seeing something over here.
Yeah, we're all in different timelines, and it's not in different. Like, I can see birds keep coming, ravens. But some people don't even see them.
Yeah, well,
they're not even in their vicinity. It's not in their timeline. They can't see them at all.
Yeah.
So definitely think
we're multi-dimensional beings.
100%.
But yeah, and it's interesting.
It's
your gift, isn't it?
Yeah, I definitely think you can see, like, manifest things into existence. Because they say that as well, don't they? Like,
if you can see it in your mind's eye, it's like what my son was saying the other day. He's like, "What, we've got 3 eyes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we've got 3 eyes." And I went, "Not one of them isn't a physical thing. It is physical, but you can't see it." And he's like, "What?" And he keeps on saying to his mates at school, and like, I know the mum and dad going, "That idiot's been filling their mind with junk again." But what I'm trying to get down is, I said to Archie, I says, when you close your eyes, can you see a red car? If I'm saying there's a red car, and he went, yeah. I went, so you've got another eye, haven't you? You've got another eye because you can see it, and your eyes are shut, so that's your third eye. That's a
really good way of explaining.
That's the only way that I try to perceive it, is that is your imaginary state, and kids are in that imaginary state, and if you can keep that alive,
I'd love to be in a kid's state all the time.
But you are getting in it. That's what
I feel like
I know you're in it, because you're where I was with.
Yeah.
You're like, I really want to do all these things, because it's not being childish. It's Sam was saying it the other day. It's childlike. You're so in awe about learning.
Yeah.
Just like my son is. He constantly wants to know what's going on, why things work, and how things interact. And that's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
You're like, how does all this work?
Mind blowing, isn't it? And you just want to know everything. You just want to be like a sponge and absorb everything. I was journaling about this actually, like about wanting to be like childlike state again. Because do you know when you tell your kids off? Not that I'm condoning telling kids off. No. But when you tell kids off, how long do they hate you for? Like, how long do they hold that grudge for? It's not long, is it? They love you that much that they don't hate you for telling them off. They actually forgive you quite quickly. They
do, but this is something I'm really glad you talked about it, because it affects them. They are emotional. What they say is why we are like we are, and why I've got a great mind, and my memory can go right back, but it can't see certain things that people have told me about recently. It's because you're not emotionally mature enough to deal with some of the situations that us as parents throw upon them. So when they do it, it's like, it throws it down to the bottom, and amnesia. It says, right, we can't deal with it right now, but we'll store it there. And that's what we're doing now as adults, is we've been given that awareness, and it's like, go down,
I've got it
get it
before
out.
I'm 8. I can't hardly remember anything before I was 8. I've got amnesia.
Can you not?
No.
There's certain stuff that I thought, well, even the lad who I work with, he's like, your memory is great, and there's certain stuff that's bobbing up now that it's only just coming to light that I know that I've got to approach with a more loving heart of, it's curing your inner child to be more childlike and have that, because it's like you're bringing that imaginary state back.
Yeah.
You're reclaiming your old state. You're reclaiming what the soul was when it came in. It's not got all this baggage. You're unpacking it all.
I did a really good inner child hypnosis the other day. This woman with called Anastasia, she took me to my mum left when I was 3, I believe. So I've been going through this abandonment. I told you, this core wound has been coming up for me, abandonment, and it happened at the last retreat. It came out in an entity.
Oh.
I know. And I was old in space.
Yeah.
So, but it was after I'd finished, it came out, and it was just a really weird one. It came out as, it wasn't anything really gnarly.
Yeah.
And we had to try and pick it and think out, where does it come from? So I'm sat with the girls, and they're like, where is it coming from? How has it got in? And they was asking me questions, and then there was a girl sat there who we'd held space for, and I remember feeling guilty that I felt guilty that I'd abandoned her because I was working with somebody else, and I went, oh my God, it's abandonment, and I'm like, and it's another friend that I felt like I'd abandoned as well, and I'm like, oh my God, it's a me abandonment wound, and I've been told as well by a reader that it's going to come on the new year, on the new moon, and the full moon. One of your major core wound is going to come up on the full moon, and it was a full moon that night. And it came up, and I was just sitting with it, and I was thinking, like, as I was going through it, how can I maneuver this? Like, how can I maneuver the fact that my mum, before you're 7, it's in the neuro.
In state, yeah.
So I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So how am I going to get over this? Like, how am I going to get over the abandonment wounds? Like, what do I do? Because she left when when I was 3. She came back, but obviously it scarred me. So when I did this meditation, this hypnosis, she said to me, she went, your mum's with you. She went, what do we want to do it on? I went, I don't know. Like, what do you think I should do it on? She went, your mum's with you. She's telling me I need to go back to when you were 2, 3. And I went, right, okay. I said, so that's when she left. So she went, okay, that's what we need to do. And my mum was with me through the whole hypnosis. And basically, when I went back, I was sat on my bed and I was crying my eyes out for my mum. And then I've took her and I'm showing her how beautiful she is. And I'm like, I've got you. And I literally had her and I had me. And it felt like my daughter. And I took her out of that house where all the badness was happening. I took her out of that house and I brought her to my home, and I'm showing her, I'm looking at my drums and everything. And I sat here and my dragon came behind me and she's literally playing with the dragons, like going beards. And I'm like, what is going on in this hypnosis?
That's quality though.
It was beautiful. And now since then, I feel like I've saved my inner child, and now I'm getting more and more like playful with my granddaughters. I'm playing with my granddaughters differently, like being silly.
Allowing that inner child to come out and play, because deep down within you is a scared little child that just wants to play.
Yeah.
But they're not being able, but now you've given it that space to go,
This is
This is your world now. And that's what,
how
many of
beautiful.
us on that, I mean, that's quite deep for a 3-year-old to take. But I was trying to, when I were on this journey, I was like, mine don't line up to any of that. Like, these people are going through so many bad things. And I watched a podcast about it. It says it doesn't matter what level of trauma it was for you. It was trauma for you. And this is
called the name at school. It's trauma. Like, it doesn't matter how big your trauma is. It's how big your trauma is. Big as big as my trauma.
Yeah, and this is where we're on about, again, the human mind wants to compare. Because if they're comparing, it can bring me back down. And it's, again, you can get put in this
you
cages.
won't feel like you're worthy of feeling shit because that's happened to you, because she's gone through that.
Somewhat worse.
If she's gone through that, how can I feel like that? Like, no, it don't work like that. Like, you could have I might handle it better than you, say, for instance, that's had less trauma, but still in the same. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I was just listening to a podcast yesterday or Saturday.
You're gonna have to send me these podcasts.
Oh, I definitely will do, because he was. The guy who has a podcast on a podcast. We're on a podcast talking about too. But he was saying the biggest life-changing episode that he's ever had, or the conversation that he's had with a lady in a car, I remember her name, but she were at Auschwitz, and she was 16-year-old, and she was a dancer, and she was supposed to be going on a date that night with this fella, and that's all she'd thought about this day. And when they knocked at the door, it was the Germans, and they'd taken them all captive, and they killed her mum and dad that very night. And that same night, they had her dance for all the German soldiers, because they knew how good of a dancer she was. They'd heard it from the town or whatever. And she danced out of this world. And they're like, how did you dance for them soldiers after murdering them? She says, I didn't dance for them. I took myself as if I were in a ballroom, and I wasn't in that world. I was in my own world. I wasn't doing it for them or doing it for me.
Yeah.
And I thought just to take that, of how many people are stuck in the mindset now that they're saying how bad it is. I don't think anyone can even imagine how bad that was. And she managed to pluck herself up and move herself with her third eye, which we were talking about. She took herself to somewhere else, and she created her own world just for them few minutes. And then it gave her the loving compassion. This is what I mean by spirit moving through you. Spirit moved her through her and tipped her out that she could do that. She then started to see these people of war who were holding her a prisoner. She seen them as the prisoners because they were going against their own soul.
Yeah.
And I like what we were talking about off air and how we reverse it. She lived in peace, feeling sorry and compassion. For them when they thought they were doing. And I thought, what a gift. And she's survived it. I think she's at this age, I think she's 97 now.
You get the gold is when you forgive even the shitty stuff in your life. That's when the gold comes, because you get forgiven for everything that you've done as well. And like, if you can just forgive and just live like that, like, that's when what I was trying to say earlier. It's like a bit of an ADHD conversation, this, with me and you, and it's jumping from one thing to another.
And that's how it is with me.
It's me as well.
So, make my match.
I cannot go to one thing without going to another, honestly.
It don't matter.
What were I saying then?
You were on about...
Yeah, so when I was saying about the child, like, wanting to be in childlike state is to be able to forgive. And this is where I think I'm at now. And this is the level of compassion I feel like I'm at now. I'm not going to say that I don't get angry, because I'm not going to say that. But what I do is I don't let my feelings manifest.
They don't let them control you.
I can change my feelings so fast. Like, soon as I can feel that disconnect here, I'm like, right, okay, I need to change this now. I need to change what I'm doing. I'll get rid of it somehow. I'll deal with that somehow, but I'm not going to let that project onto any person at all. I'm not going to do that. And I'm not saying I never do it.
Yeah.
But I don't get involved in any conversations. I will not accept anybody. Now, I was telling you this earlier, wasn't I? If you want to have a low vibration, don't come at me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I need to protect
boundaries.
I need to put my boundaries in now, and that's as much as I love you and as much as I need to put my boundaries in, because it's happened too many times with too many people. Because I'm an empath, they want to put it on me. I'm open to hold space for you, but in a space holding environment, not dumping your emotion. I'm not an emotional dumper.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I turn up, like, if someone comes with a problem, if they're willing to take a solution on board, and and change the mindset, because you can't. If you've got a recurring problem and still got the same mindset, you're not going to tackle it. But if you come and that's what I believe you're doing and I'm doing, is you're being able to see the patterns, and you can give them the knowledge to tackle it another way. But if they just shoot that down and then they constantly go, oh, but this, and it's like, sorry, you're going to have to go do your own thing. Do your own thing, because I'm
just
sorry.
Just venting off at you. It's like, I'm not,
It turns into frustration with us. And then you're like, the only one that walks away really frustrated. The other one's lighter because they've unloaded the crap. Yeah. And it's like, if they don't want to be helped, they're not, I think someone said the other day that people are always trying to tell you who they are, and they are in the words. So if someone's just doing that, they're not there for any good, are they?
That's true.
They're always telling you what they're doing. It's just if you're willing to listen. If you're like, there's too much of us that I've got friends that I think about often who are still in the same patterns, and I wish I could help them, but I can't. And the more energy that I exert trying to help them, I could be putting more energy into this for the people that want to engage. And that's where this podcast does. I'm putting it out to an audience, the people that I don't even know. It's going to land on the ears of them.
Has any of your friends like caught on and think, want to dip the toes in yet? Because I've got a couple of friends now because I feel like once you're like this, you become a magnet, and people are magnetised towards you, or they want to. And like I said, I'm not an influencer, but I do influence people.
Yeah, you do. You do. Everyone's an influencer.
In a good
bad way.
Yeah.
Whichever way you want.
I feel like in past I've been a bad influence.
Yeah.
But I feel like now, I do feel like people, when I speak or when I'm talking, they're listening. You can see the listening. And it was so beautiful. My best friend her mum was spiritual.
Yeah.
And her mum went and got a priest in to my friend who was 11 at the time, to try and get demons out of her.
Wow.
And she's got PTSD from that. Like, she will not have anything to do with spiritual, and she's highly, highly psychic. Like, she can see things coming straight away.
She tried getting them out, and then...
She tried to get them out of her, but she's got PTSD from it. She's like, why? She was 11 years old. That shouldn't have happened, But now, now she don't want anything to do with it. But her mum now has turned from spiritual to God. Like, what she tells me, I'm dealing with stuff that I shouldn't be messing with, and because she's scared of the dark. It's nothing else but you're scared. She's very light. And she likes the love and light, and she's scared of the dark. Whereas I am not.
You've got to love both.
I like to be there. I know that sounds awful. I don't mind being in that bit. Yeah. Like, I love being light, but I don't mind being in the dark either.
Well, it's where I think you unlock your gifts.
The lower world is where we find everything, like all the juice.
I was listening to the Dead Sea Scrolls when I was doing this floor, actually. I listened to it about 6 hours, and it were a bit monotone, but I was trying to decode what he was saying, because they kept on saying, you've got to go down, and they're on about searching world and all this, and they were going, but you go down to the depths of a mente, and I'm like, and he kept on saying this, and I'm like, what is he on about? And he's like, the underworld's there, and the worst of the worst, and I'm like, the more that I've got to it is, he's on about us. He's on about the more that you go down into the pits of who you are, and the programs that you've had implemented into you, and that you've taken on as your own, the more that you go down to the depths of a mente, and you face them challenges, the more that you come out more godlike. Because your
gifts are there.
Yeah.
Gifts are
but people are scared.
They're not up in the galactics. The gifts are there.
But people are scared of the dark because it's where it's broken.
Yeah.
It's broken.
They're living in a fake world because they're masking. They're masking everything.
Yeah, and but because it broke them, and it's kept them broke.
Yeah.
The only way you can piece it back together is by going and looking on the floor to find the broken bits of yourself.
Yeah.
And when you find the broken bits, you can go, all right, sound that, put all that back together. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
well, it's like I was saying with my friend, she's been, because I'm on this journey, she's literally my life, like my best friend. We've done life together, like, and she's in agony with this situation because she feels like she's lost me.
Yeah.
And that's what she said. I feel like I've lost my best friend because I'm pulling away because she's obviously still
doing their own thing.
Doing her own thing, yeah. And I love her for that because she will not be broken. She's so doing her own thing and like, no, Michelle, you do that. I'm doing this. But the other day she said, I put a video on me of we're singing and doing some light language. She phoned me up and she went, you just keep doing what you're doing. I went, what do you mean? She went, oh, you're all over group chats. You're all over group chats. I went, what do you mean in a bad way? She went, you know what you like, Michelle? She went, everyone always likes to talk about you. She went, but do you know what? She went, you're going to be famous. She went, you just keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, oh, bless you.
Yeah.
Like, she's happy for me and she's seeing it, but she can't. She can't do it. She can't do it herself.
Because she'll be seeing what all the other people see, and she don't want the judgment.
No,
I'm not saying that is the ultimate thing, but that could be a potential.
100%.
Yes, I have it. My best mate of, well, it goes back most of my life. We've had it, and I on about it with one at ceremonies I had by myself. I laid there for 6 hours just crying because I knew me and him weren't going to be on the same page. And he'll either get up to speed or he won't, but we'll still have that love for one another. It's funny how you meet and you're mirroring stuff just like me and you are. And then there were a bloke who I met in sauna and he seen that I was reading the book of 4 agreements and he's like, oh, I just kept on it. You know, when someone asks a question, you're like, I thought I'm going to get back to reading. He went, so are you reading that? I went, oh yeah, because it's good for like mentality and keeping myself in, and why that? And I'm like, oh fuck. So I went further, answered it a few more times. Really nice bloke, and then he just went, is that one of them spiritual? I explained the spiritual awakening now, and it sounds a bit cliche. And he went, no, that's what my mate's going through. And I went, and he says, we can't connect. And I went, you're the opposite side of mine. And I went, and he went, yeah. And he says, could you have any advice? And I says, yeah, I can. I says, just be patient with him.
That was meant to happen.
Yeah, be patient with him and let him have the time and just give him the odd text just to tell him that you're there for him if he needs it. And he's like, but he keeps on buying. He'll buy a dog and then he'll sod this dog off and he'll do this and he'll do that and he's sporadic and he can't. And I went, he's supposed to. I says, I did it all. I says, what he's doing, he don't know he's doing it. His soul is clearing out everything in front of him so he can be in solitude like you spoke.
Yeah.
Because without the solitude, you cannot be the person that you're growing into.
No
you're replanting
your mind.
You're replanting your roots. Yeah. You're going, I don't fit here anymore. I need to grow on my own. And when I grow on my own and I get to this, people don't know what's going underground. They think you're nuts. When you pop out through that ground and you see what you've planted.
How beautiful.
That's when you're saying it inspires you to go and see it. They start to see what you have built. Like, when I went on this, they were all thinking, fucking hell, nuts. I'm still going to get all comments that I'm nuts, and I'm fine with it because I won't take it on board.
Look at me.
I won't take it on board. I think someone said the other day...
If I'm nuts, I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
because I don't want to
the only time you'll get pissed off is if they say something that you believe about yourself, yeah.
If it's a trigger.
But everything that they're saying that I'm
But then
nuts,
it gives me something to work on.
Yeah. So it's a gift again.
It's a gift again.
So you've changed. You've changed.
Honestly,
it's like it's in that season, and you seem to be in it as well. It's that season of the greatness. And it's not going to be like this forever.
Everything.
It's not going to be like this forever. I get that. So I'm riding this wave as it's going. Because as soon as you get to the top of one mountain, you're at the bottom of the next.
I know.
But this is going to be a beautiful time, and it's...
I feel like it is. Like I said, I feel like there's something good's coming out of this shit that I've been in for so long. Like, I've been alone for 2 weeks, but I've been in the shit for a lot longer. Like, I've been in this dark night of the soul, as they call it, for quite some time now with not knowing who I am. I'm totally lost with who I am. Like, I was totally lost with who I am, should I say, because that don't feel the same. When I say that now, it feels out of alignment, so I don't feel like it's right thing to say.
Finding your feet.
Yeah, I am. The paths are getting clearer for me now, whereas they were totally blurred before. And being with you, talking today, has given me so much clearer guidance on where with my business as well, which has it's been heartbreaking. It's literally been heartbreaking, especially when I've got family that they look up to me now and saying like I've made it, like I'm, you know, and then I'm just going to give it all up.
Do you think that's more powerful, that they're going to watch harder at what you're going to do next? And when they go, this isn't it, and then you
Because
go, this next stage is, no, this is it. And then you go, fucking hell.
Because I need to be the one that breaks that cycle. I need to be. I've broke it for everything else now. I've broke so many cycles with family patterns. I've got 4 boys and they're all grown up. So I said, I want to see you on Sunday. I want to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Don't want to go into too much details with them, but I said I want to talk about stuff that happened to me when I was younger, which is why I've parented like I've parented, and I want to, because some of them like they blame me and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know, like boys get 19-year-old boys, they don't want to talk about it. They're like, no, don't want to talk about it. But individually, they do. They won't. So I had a conversation. I thought all of it. I didn't think they was all asleep at all. I knew a couple of them are really interested in stuff. Yeah. And I had like an hour conversation with 2 of my boys. One of them said, I want you to hold space for me. I want to go I want to have the plant medicine. I think at first he thought it was he thought it was like party. And he's like, no, mummy. And then starts telling me about all the aliens and starts telling me about everything that he knows. I'm like, oh my God, I love this.
Because you gave him that safe space to talk and be heard.
Both of them, yeah.
That's beautiful.
But then I sent something in the group chat, and one of my other sons went, stop talking like that now.
Yeah, but that's the humour that comes back in. Because like, I'll cut real with you. I don't understand, like, that's one thing I don't understand is light language, but I'm not saying it isn't true. I'm not saying.
Oh no! I wasn't putting light language in chat. I was putting
singing light language
about the new earth. I told him about the new earth and how people who were not on this new thing are going to fall away, and I think that scared him. Yeah. And he's like, "Stop talking like this. You need to stop watching that shit." He said.
Yeah.
But my other son, who's moved back in with me, he hears me on the Zooms that I do, and I'm just like, I have to say to him before, I'm going to be doing that funny shit. And he's like, right, all right then, that funny shit. And he can hear me. I'm
not saying it doesn't do anything. I just don't understand it. But if I can't understand it.
So it's the light language is our soul's language.
Yeah.
So it's how we connect with each other. Through that kind of language. So depending on how many like beings and how many lives with different kind of beings we've had is where we resonate with that light language. So I've got loads. I've got around 20. I've got over 20 odd different light languages when we've looked at the different tones that come out. There's some that are more than the others. That are there more than the others. And they come out for different things as well. So if I'm doing some healing on somebody, at one point I can have like it's an old Aztec woman. She can come out and when I feel like they're upset, I can go and I'm condoning her. The old Aztec woman comes out and it's and I'm talking like this. Yeah. But then if it's, say for instance, I feel like they've got some kind of curse or it sounds a bit gnarly, it sounds a bit demonic, but it's not. It's how we connect with that, and it's what needs to come out. It could be the dragon, it could be any of the. It could be a shaman that I've got. I've got so many different guides that come and help me in my healings.
That's cool.
But it sounds so different with any different part of the body that I'm working on.
Yeah.
We started doing
them.
We started doing them at the sound baths. When we did at the sound baths, it's like I couldn't contain. First of all, I'm going and I'm just doing all this, and I'm like, and I could feel it here, and I know what I need to do. I could literally feel it on the woman, and I'm like, and it's coming out, and I'm like, I need to do it.
Yeah.
And after the sound bath, the first sound bath, when I started speaking the light language and healing like I normally would be doing on a Kundalini, like doing that, not activating the Kundalini, but healing them like that. I can't say healing them because I don't feel like I'm healing them. Like it's the healing. I know, but I don't like saying it.
Yeah, but it's not like you're saying, it's not exactly you.
Yeah,
it's
I don't feel like
angels
I'm a
are like
healer.
coming
I
through
feel like,
you.
yeah, feeling like
It's
I'm a
same as
channel.
like anything that I create. I don't take full credit
Yeah.
for it. It's just through a higher power. I've just been the vessel that it's come through.
So
But
when they're
you
saying,
have like a shyness with it as well. I felt
yeah, it
very
is.
when it's like someone
It's like
goes,
I don't want to claim the glory for it when
Yeah.
it's not me that's doing it. Like, although I do feel very powerful when they're saying it's the most powerful thing we've ever experienced. Like, that is absolutely unreal. It felt like, how many people was in there? And I'm like, well, it was just me and Ange, and Ange's on sound balls doing a bit of light language, and then she comes in and helps as well. But it's just me and Ange, and like, felt like there was a room full of you, and it felt like when you was over there, it felt like you had your hands still on me.
Yeah.
So it's like it was, or I felt your presence still, and I'm like, wow, that's powerful, because that's the guides working through us.
Yeah.
And like when you are touching them and then you leave and they can still feel it on them, that's a guide still doing the job. And it's like, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it sounds it.
And the stuff that they say to us afterwards, you should come along.
Yeah, no, you've definitely got. Obviously, I wanted to anyway, but the more you've heard you speak upon it,
Unreal, yeah.
I'd definitely like to. The inner child stuff, definitely, because I think that's where root cause of most stuff is.
The inner child. Yeah. Well, we don't do the inner child at the sound baths. That was a hypnosis.
Oh, was that? Yeah.
I was part of a hypnosis. There's a girl that does hypnosis for the inner child, but actually, Yaz and Morgan have just started doing. And Yaz is doing a Roman hypnosis, and they've done they're called the Kundalini twins.
Yeah.
And they've got together to do hypnosis and Kundalini.
That sounds.
And I couldn't go on to it. Because I was busy,
right.
And I was so gutted, because every one of the reviews that the messages that they've put afterwards said it's the most powerful thing they've ever experienced.
Definitely link me up with that, because
and I'm like, wow, I need to go. So they're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
The circle, it's all online.
Is it online?
Yeah. And you wouldn't think, would you?
No.
You literally.
I've got a blockage with it. I've got
surrender.
Because
put your intention
in
out
fact,
to
do you know
surrender.
why it is? And I think what it is, it's because technology, and I'm not trying to put a spell on me, technology just doesn't go my way on a lot of stuff, and it starts to malfunction.
It is now, innit? It's working for you now.
Yeah.
So you can't say that, because it's actually working for you really well now. So technology is like your partner right now.
Yeah, it's hard as well, because the that's what it said with the star sign, starseed thing. It said under my thing that I always have problem with technology, and it does. Even Zoe's like noticed it.
You need to break that then.
Oh, it'd be nice to.
That doesn't mean that you won't have a result from it.
Oh no, definitely.
But you need to go in and try surrender from that, and don't have any high expectations of it. Just surrender.
Yeah.
To it, like. Because I haven't been having really big processes lately, I did a Kundalini with, like I said to you the other day, last night, with someone totally different, just trying it out, and it was so powerful. And because you think to yourself, don't you, I wonder if it's just the girls, and because this other girl brought different tones out in me, and I was giving different tones, and the Isis came in and everything, and I've never done anything like that with her before.
That's cool.
It was, the Kundalini, online Kundalini is absolutely...
I'll have to give it a go.
Because the energies of everybody else is accumulating as well. Yeah. You feel everybody's energy.
So how does the Zoom go?
You just...
Is it how many's in it? How many's in
a group? As many as you can.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be 5, sometimes it can be 20.
Right.
The last one that we had, I said, when I think it was Morgan's, I said to Morgan afterwards, I went, my God, it was really strange. I said, Isis came down, she touched my fingers, and my hands turned to wings. And then I was giving myself love with the wings, but then I had to give you guys the gifts, which I explained earlier. Give these guys the gifts. But I said, I had a vision, but it wasn't a vision, it was like a knowing. They were all around the fire, and we was dancing around the fire, past life dancing around the fire, but then there was a baby. Mm-hmm. And I could see the women going, what? And I'm like, and Morgan's like, what? Look at Sarita, what's she saying? So we unmuted Sarita, and Sarita's like, I had the same vision. And then another one, I had the same vision. I'm like, oh my God. So this is how connected we are. We don't need to be in the same room. We do not need to be in the same room.
It's all vibration, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Frequency, vibration, energy, it flows.
Yeah.
You definitely want to try it because
No.
you'll be like,
yeah,
that's going to open up new doors for you
yeah.
then
No, it sounds it.
as well.
Do you sit up or lay down then when you're doing them? Or?
So, we've got one girl, Anastasia. She literally cannot. They tell you when you're doing Kundalini, you should lie down flat with no pillow.
Yeah.
To start with, but Anastasia can't. She has to stand up and she dances with a blindfold on. It's like funny as well. It's funny watching us all on the Zoom because you've got like some people like doing all this, some people lying down, shaking, and it's just everyone is activated something. And afterwards, what does it? Everyone says is unreal. Like you're just like in awe of. You think like wow, and I can't wait to start my own circles because I don't know why I'm not.
Yeah.
I really don't know why I'm not.
Picking up that more experience, aren't you?
That's what I feel like. I feel like I want to find what angle I'm gonna go with.
Yeah.
Because of obviously the voice thing.
Yeah.
And my Atlantean like background and everything else, and the Egyptian. I've got to find what I wanna. I wanna make it perfect.
You won't find
Not
that until
perfect.
you start, though.
Not perfect.
Yeah.
Yes and no, but. I've got to have a programme.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
If I want a programme, I can do the one-to-ones and just do the one-to-ones.
Yeah,
and I suppose if I start doing the one-to-ones, I don't know why I'm not doing the one-to-ones because I know they're going to be really powerful. I don't know why I'm not.
You'll do it.
I don't.
You can see it in you, like it's already there. It's just
once I start
it's
doing
that next
them,
step for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of shaving off the old and bringing in the new.
It is.
But you can feel it. It's going to be there.
It's going to be quite. I feel like it's going to be quite big as well. I do feel like if I start doing the one-to-ones, or even if I might do I'm thinking about doing a free circle.
Yeah.
And if I do the free circle, there'll be more people in it.
Yeah.
The more people are in it, the more energy it's created, which gives you better results. And then people see what I'm about without having to invest straight away.
Yeah.
And then that might build up people to get into my
They
program.
start talking about it and create that buzz.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant, man.
I know. It's
I bet you're excited, aren't you?
I feel like I'm magic.
Yeah.
I actually feel
it's
like
that childlikeness, isn't it? It's like you can feel it. You know it's coming.
Have you felt the energy in it? Like, have you? The other day, I'm putting my hands up because I don't know why, but I had to put my hands up. I'm like, oh my god, and literally tears are pouring down my face because I can feel all this energy, and I'm like, and I'm on no plant medicine. I'm not on anything. It's just what's coming down, what I'm being touched by my guides or angels or whatever, and I'm just like, they're working then through me to do. I'm like, wow.
That's just angles of light, and they're just there for you. They're like sat in meditation, like when you've been speaking throughout this conversation, it's lighting me up. I get that just when I'm sat in meditation, and I see it as a nod of you doing the right thing.
Do you see?
No.
Is yours a knowing?
Mine's feeling, as in I can feel my body light up.
Yeah.
And I can hear with the ringing in the ears.
So
I don't see.
I've got ringing permanently
now. I have, and I don't see any entities. I can hear the presence, and I know when something's about, and when not to do something. And the voices, you can get nudges. But everyone, we're all supposed to be. I remember when I first got on this, and people going, I can see stuff. I'm like, why can't I see stuff? And I'm like, because it's not my gift.
No.
That's not my gift, and I'm in my lane, and I'm happy being in my lane. And if something like that comes about...
I don't know if to see things as clear as what some people say, I don't know. I'm not saying I don't want it. Give it to me if it's meant for me. But...
You want it.
But what are the things that I know, like the ringing in my ears is confirmation all the time. I get the ringing, I get the feeling, the senses, I get all that. But the knowing, the visions without having visions is like that's powerful because I know 100% what I know, and it's powerful to know without seeing.
Yeah. I think you can, going like we spoke before, is like Jesus said we all have gifts in his own way, and you can practice different gifts to get to that point.
Yeah.
That's what the mystery schools were about, to broaden all your skills.
That's it, the mystery schools. What I call it earlier, the secret schools.
It don't matter, does it? We both know what you're on about. But that's what it's about. It's like, at least get to where you're comfortable with knowing what you've got and work upon that.
Yeah.
Like mine, I believe I see patterns, not, and you spotted it earlier, is like, it's all patterns in here.
Yeah.
I see patterns with behaviours, and I like to see how things tick, and that's what I think gives me the lens to be able to see and give others the opportunity to see themselves.
Yes.
And that's one of my gifts, and I'm grateful for that gift, and the more that I share that gift, I think once you fully embody it and share that gift, the universe goes, right, here's another gift. You've done that level. That's second nature. That's autopilot.
You're embodying it.
Yeah, because you've embodied it,
yeah.
and it comes so natural to you. It's like you driving to work every day and forgetting how you got there. You just naturally give it out. So the universe goes, right, here's another gift now. It might, and I'm not saying this is the ultimate truth, but I'm saying that's how I perceive that's it's going to be.
It is.
The more that you are
because
doing it.
Because they can't give you too much at once.
No.
They can't, because what would you know what to do with it? It'd be like having ADHD.
It'd be like what we both did.
Yeah.
Going, where shall we go? Because you don't use one. And I wanted to just ask you as well, if this happens to you, when you feel like you've got all these tasks on your plate, do you sometimes feel as though it's crushing because there's too much?
Yeah, and then I don't do anything.
Yeah.
And I don't do anything.
And I what I noticed it's linked to is sugar and eating.
But I don't.
Yeah, you don't, do you?
No.
Well, for me, like, it was, and I felt stuck and trapped.
But I did. I haven't been on this eating healthy journey for a while, and to be fair, I am, since I don't eat sugar at all, I would say that the levels, because I used to say all the time, I blame it on my ADHD. And I think I've said this to you on the phone before. I'm sick of saying it. I'm sick. I'm not saying that. I am not saying that.
At least you're catching it. Like, sometimes I don't.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I am not saying that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not blaming ADHD anymore.
It's a
because
superpower.
It is. But it isn't a reason that I'm lazy and I haven't done the cleaning. It's not a reason.
No.
It's not.
No.
I'm not blaming that anymore. I'm owning up. Like, or for instance, leaving my keys and losing, going out and then leaving my car keys, or losing my car keys, or whatever, and not learning from that. That's stupidity. That is stupidity. It's not ADHD. It's stupid. I can come in and quite easily put my car keys in a place and know that they're going to be there for tomorrow.
I do that all the time. I need to do that. It winds me up.
I wind myself up, and then I spend so much wasted time.
Energy.
And then I go, it's because I've got ADHD. No, it's not.
You haven't learned your lessons.
It's because we're not learning as lessons.
Thank you. I need you to say that.
And that was my shaman that pulled me up on that. Like, that was a card I got. I can't remember which card I got for it. And I said to him, I'm fed up. I'm not right saying that. Fed up of saying, blaming ADHD on everything. Literally everything. That's
mad that you've just reflected that. And it's so simple. Because I keep on saying it, it's the sugar and it's that. And then it always goes back to, and you've just awoken it in me, is we are the stories that we tell ourselves. Yeah, you're telling yourself, I can't do this because I've got ADHD. I'm going to run a bath, I'm going to let it go out. Run a bath again, I'm going to let it go out because I've got ADHD. No, Michelle, that isn't because you've got ADHD. It's because you're not conscious, you're not present in what you're doing. It's nothing to do with because you've got ADHD. I think we spoke off camera about this, and I said where my next thing lies with getting the mercury out of the teeth. And I've noticed you said it, and I've noticed how you're sporadic in how you speak. You'll jump from thing to thing, and I do, but that's brain fog, and the mercury does it.
I've got really bad brain fog. Well, got really bad brain fog.
Yeah, no, but
it's getting better.
You will. Yeah, but I don't think you'll get rid of it until they come out.
Yes.
Because it came up in meditation for me, and I should have gone and done it first because it's going to the root. Because exactly going to the root. It's the root.
When you said that, this is actually coming through now. So obviously I've just told you about the bioresonance woman that told me that my body's full of metal.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Heavy metals.
Heavy metals.
Yeah.
My body's full of them. I went and had the foot bath where she pulled it all out.
Yeah.
It was literally black.
Yeah.
Recommend to do that.
I'm gonna go.
But the other day when I was sat I tried to have it was my birthday and I went to London and I tried to have a drink of wine. And I'm like, I put it in my mouth and it sent shooting pains all up into here and all down into here. And I don't know if that's anything to do with the teeth situation.
It could be. I think this is a massive one. I'll be documenting what my journey is through it, because how many people have got mercury fillings who don't know? And I'd asked the dentist as well when I was saying about this. He went, oh, there's other fillings you can get. I said, no, I want these gone because of brain fog. And he went, oh yeah, people do suffer bad with that. And I'm like, so if we're supposed to govern our own mind, and there's mind is
we don't want us to govern us own.
But he probably wasn't conscious of what he's saying, but
no,
and probably just brushed over it. But I'm like, so if I can't control the very thing that is controlling me, yeah, why wouldn't I want them out? And he went, oh yeah. So how massive, I think, through me going through this and being able to share it with the world and people who've got fillings, and we were speaking about it earlier, and I don't know if anyone who reads a book to the child reads the full book and cannot tell you what happened in that book because you've just... That's where brain fog goes for me.
In the car,
yeah,
how you've done that.
Yeah, and I think, even new books that I want to take in, it won't go in, and I can just...
Even Audibles, it's like I might as well not read it.
I'm all right with listening, but reading and stuff is hard.
How many pages do you read? Like that first page or whatever.
And I have to
how many times do you read that first page?
Yeah, terrible. And I don't know if this happens to you. I hate text messaging. If I write stuff out, I have to rearrange it again, or I go back because it doesn't sound right.
Oh, I voice note everything.
Yeah, well, that's what I've started doing. I used to hate voice noting. I'd take mick out of people voice noting, and now I'm like, yeah, I voice note because it's just easier.
It's so much easier, and
I'm still sporadic as hell.
And with a voice note as well, you've got to think that with that voice note, you're
more personal.
You're more personal. But I tell you what came up the other day, what someone said to me. All these messages that you have, because she looked at my phone and she was like, wow, that's not right. Because obviously I've got clients, students, friends, people trying to be in touch for different things that you have. So I've got all these conversations open.
Tabs.
All that energy is open in every conversation. And I was like, oh my God, I've never thought about that. She went, yeah, you've not closed each conversation. You've not said, see you later, I'll speak to you tomorrow. You've left your energy in every one of them conversations.
Yeah.
So your brain's thinking about that conversation. Like, if you haven't closed that conversation, your energy's in there. I can still see these orbs. Literally flying around.
How you're saying that as well, I was on about it to Zoe the other day. I like to call them open tabs. It's like this world feels like it's overwhelming for me sometimes. I want to go where food's easy to get to. If I buy something like that projector over there, if it just works on its own, I had to buy another 2 free cables for it. So that's another... I'm like, everything's just overcomplicated.
You want it simplified?
Yeah, it's simplified because everything feels like it's more tying you to this system.
Can we go to, this is what I was thinking today, I would love to go, I'd love back to being a Viking again. I would just love it. Can we go back to basics and just find our own water and make our own fire and not have any of this bullshit that we don't actually need?
I think free energy when it comes. I think that's going to blow doors off it all. I think, like free energy where people aren't paying for energy.
Is that going to be a thing?
Yeah.
Is it?
100%.
It's all around us anyway. Why do we have to pay
Well,
for
they've been pulling it from ether, haven't they? It's like it's in churches were energy. They harnessed energy from ether. There's plenty of videos out there now where people are measuring it. And if you have a look at where the ley lines are on the earth, all major cathedrals are on ley lines. York Cathedral, Kirkstall Abbey, all the places are on ley lines. All these, like Giza, pyramids, they're all on these ley lines. They're generated energy. And we're getting into that phase now. As soon as it's not profitable as energy, that frees up a lot of jobs. It frees up a lot of people to have a lot of free time. Things that I'm noticing patterns is, we're looking, when you drive through a nice village, what makes it nice? I look at the bus stops like Stone, it's all, and they're independent stores. You've not got your charity shops and your local corporations, but when you look at them bus stops that are maybe made out of stone, they're sustainable. When you go to bad areas or just areas in general, sitting in a city, the bus stops, and they know that they break, they know that the kids smash them, they know that they graffiti them, but it gives someone a job constantly to keep on just changing it. If you see what I mean, it keeps someone in the system of just.
That just made me think about something, actually, what you just said. You know, with this AI thing.
Yeah.
And it's obviously a lot of people are going to lose a lot of jobs.
But it frees us up.
It's literally, my brain was thinking while you were saying it. We can actually now start to be freer, to evolve more.
Yes, and this is what I think Atlantis was. I think that's what the pyramids were. That's
AI.
They were more far advanced, but what all it is we're going back to what they had. But the problem we've got now,
because we don't need money.
No, we are the AI that we're looking for. We are more intelligent. Once you're tapped into God and the universe, we have all the answers within. You already know this.
Yeah.
But AI is a tool for us to get more interconnected. All these tabs are open, it'll be seamless. But the problem we've got is
realisation.
The players that be at the moment. There's two. Obviously, there's good against evil always going on. The evil side wants us to believe that we're looking for AI to merge with us. Like you've seen the chips that they want to put in your head.
Yes.
Because they're saying we aren't smart enough. If we realise, we hadn't even realised what it's the full potential is.
So what is it? 4% of his brain. Or
yeah.
What is it?
It's like I think it's 5 or 10%, and then same with your DNA. It's similar with that, but we haven't even tapped into his full potential.
No, not.
So with this
not
Kundalini, that's what it's tapping into. I'd love to measure mine now at the moment, and I'd love to see people that have been doing the work of how much DNA you've tapped into, because I believe it's opened up.
It upgrades your DNA.
Yeah.
Cells, it upgrades you on a cellular level, it upgrades your DNA. Like there's girls that have done the Kundalini that have been fully bedridden with fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
And they're out and about doing normal things.
So with that biometrics that you were on about the other day, earlier.
What time warp are you in?
Well,
how many have we just jumped?
This room's timeless because I don't have a clock in it. But yeah, so have they actually had a biometrics done before Kundalini?
Are you talking about me?
Awakening. Anyone, like any of
It
the
was
girls,
me.
not you or the girls, have you had it done then, and then have you
Yes.
had it done since?
Yes.
And what have the readings brought back?
So I had one done and it wasn't great. I'm not going to lie. Like a lot of things weren't good. In fact, none of it were. Parasites, just I had fatty liver, probably from the drinking.
Acidic diet, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I had a lot of stuff wrong, and I've done I think it's 6 months I went back, and the only thing that I've changed is by doing Kundalini. She told me I need to do a liver cleanse, but I can't do the liver cleanse because I couldn't do the parasite cleanse because my liver was in such a bad state. So I had to do all this other stuff first, and I didn't listen. I thought, I don't know why I didn't listen, because I was that scared when she told me.
Yeah.
But I still didn't listen.
Because we're naive.
Just in denial.
Yeah.
So I just did the Kundalini, and I didn't have any intention of healing when I was doing the Kundalini. I was just doing my processes.
Yeah.
And then I went back, and I don't even know why I went back, actually. And I went back, and she's like, did you do a parasite cleanse? I'm like, no. She said, no parasites. You haven't got any. And I'm like, what? She went, your fatty liver's gone. Like, you haven't got any fatty liver. And she's like, every single thing had gone up if it were too low or gone down if it were too high.
Yeah.
Like, I'm nowhere near where I should be.
Yeah, but you're better, a hell of a lot
I'm
better
so
where
much
you
better,
are.
and that's just from doing that. But she did tell me to take all these vitamins, and I don't believe in taking vitamins at all. Like, I'm not. I'll take like the plant medicine ones and things like that, natural vitamins. But anything with like cyanide in
Yeah,
it,
well,
I'm not.
I'm against that because if they say that you're deficient in some kind of mineral, go and find
Go grab any mineral.
the source, go get
Yeah.
it out of the fruit or the vegetable.
Yeah.
And that's another interesting thing is we're all deficient in two main salts. So when if you were to be cremated, you're made up of 12 mineral salts of the 12 zodiac
Is
signs.
magnesium one of them? Is that
It
not
will
a salt?
be. I think it is one
I
of
don't
them.
know if it is a salt.
I only know like there's two that I'm deficient in, but you're only deficient in the ones that you wasn't in in your mum's womb through term. So the 2 months that you're not in term, you'll always be deficient because it didn't charge up when you were in the womb.
What do you mean by in term?
Like sorry, in term. So when you're in your mum's womb,
Yeah.
there were 2 months 2 or 3 months that you wasn't in that womb throughout the year. So within that year, so I know what I'm saying.
I'm glad you do.
No, so within a year.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go off here, aren't I?
I think so. Because you're in your mum's womb 9 months.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut that bit, Dave, because
Yeah, cut that bit.
what bit? I don't know. I'll come back to that.
Yeah.
That's a bugger, that, because I didn't.
I do that all the time.
You are deficient in, because I'm deficient in Cali sulf, and there's another one. Yeah, so.
Where were we?
That, right, no, don't cut it back. Well, you can try editing this. So, out of the month, I wouldn't have been in my mum's belly in November and December.
Out of that year?
Yeah. Because 9 months you're in there, aren't you? Throughout the zodiac sign.
So what about the third?
Third month, because you're a little bit in it. Oh, yeah, I think there's 3 of them, but it's 2 main ones. That's what they're saying. So, yeah, I'm pulling it back to that. So, throughout them, there's 3 months that you're not in it. So, you're deficient, and you'll always be deficient in them. So, I take Cali sulf. That's the main one.
So, how would I know?
Through what months want you in?
I was born in December, so would it be January, February, March?
Yeah. No, so you would have been.
Yeah,
of course. God,
You're getting late now.
To ADHD.
You're getting tired.
Yeah. It's like when it's known, yeah. But
so how do I know?
So you're deficient in them. You will be.
Which ones?
You can search it up online. You just have a look at what January, February, and March is. It tells you.
What does the context?
Go on. You just search up the 12 mineral salts that the body's made up of, and then it'll go up, and then it'll be tied to each month.
That's mad.
Each Virgo will be tied to a certain one. It's like when I first did the natal chart with Hayley.
I've never done a natal chart.
She said straight away, she went, "You've got a lot of lactic acid, a lot of heartburn and stuff." I'm like, "How did you know that?" And she went, "It's in your chart." And then she reeled off other shit, and I'm like, "How the fuck did it's in your chart?" It's all in your chart. Stuff is in your chart. It's
written. Ask Hayley if she wants to do
I'll link
circle,
you up.
Yeah.
I'll link you up with Hayley. She's brilliant. She's so knowledgeable. But what do they say as well? What's that term that everyone says? It's written in the
stars. We
just bypassed that.
A friend of mine has been sexually raped, and it was written in the stars. Like she said, it was basically my stars that would happen. I'm like, wow.
It always. And that's where I think I'd asked you before, and I'd still like your insight. Is when we're a soul and we choose this meat suit, we also had a list of things that we wanted to overcome. So when we put it into the computer and said, these are the things that we want to overcome. It's just like AI ChatGPT. Now, if you said, I want X, Y, and Z, it'd throw you up all the solutions. Well, this is an interactive game. All the things the things that you wanted to overcome, it went, sound, right, we're going to put you through all these paces, because you have to go through them to get the knowledge of them. And what's your take on what this whole thing is, or what the soul is?
They tried to ask me this earlier, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
We'll try again, and if you can't, we'll wrap it up and say, I don't even know how long I've been in here.
Okay, so obviously we chose who we wanted to be, our body, when we were reincarnated. I do believe as well that if you was not being here before, then you didn't have the spirit. If you was being here the first time, I don't think you have a spirit until you come your second time.
Right.
Because obviously you've become a spirit, aren't you?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, can you explain it better? If you can.
So, I mean, it's me, when I say I do believe because it's something that I've researched.
Yeah.
And basically it says, if you've been here, if it's the first time you've come, you don't actually have spirit. You don't have a spirit.
Right.
You only have a spirit when you've been reincarnated.
Right.
So when you've come the second, third, fourth, fifth time.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that works, because you need to connect. How does that person connect? Do they not connect until the next time?
Yeah. Who inspires you to do what you do? Who around you influences you to be better?
Okay. So I'll go back to the very first day that I met the girls, we'll call them. When it was in the retreat, there was all the girls who was sitting in the retreat. There was playing in the pool, drinking, having a laugh. At that point, I was still drinking.
Yeah.
But I just refused to. I didn't want to. I actually made the thing of said I'm not drinking anymore.
Yeah.
But I just didn't want to. And I seen the other girls, the healers, all by the fire. But the fire wasn't lit, but they were just by the fire, and they were playing all the low high the higher frequency songs, and they were just doing all this and just doing these hand movements. To me, it was very alien when they were doing it. Like, it was just like, but I was so drawn to them. I was like, I need to be with them. But I've never felt like I fit in.
Yeah.
I've always felt like an outsider. And I didn't feel like I fit in with these girls. Like, not there was anything wrong with them. I just didn't feel like I fit in, jumping in the pool, being... Not wrong with that, but it just wasn't me. And I was so drawn to wanting to be with them. And I just walked up to them and I just went, can I sit with you? And they were like, oh my God. I went, I don't feel like I fit in anywhere. And they went, you're one of us, get sat down here. And then how they listened to me and heard me. Do you know, like, it's okay having a conversation with your friends, but they're not listening.
They're already waiting to give an answer back.
Yes. Yeah, they're not listening to you, and they're not actually giving you the space to speak, and then try get the answers yourself without having to, and that's what space they give me, and they're my inspiration to and that's how I'm becoming now. Like, I'm finding myself when I'm talking, apart from when me and you were talking, it's like,
yeah.
But I'm finding myself when I'm holding space that I'm listening, and I'm letting them I'm coaching them basically to find the answers themselves. And even though they're friends, my friends, they're actually been coaching me all this time.
Yeah.
Like, without me knowing it.
But that's friends as well, isn't it?
Wow. And it's so powerful. And they're my inspiration. Like, yeah. And no big guru or anything like that. I've had more from them than I have from anyone else. Any book I've read, any other thing, I've had more from that group of friends. That's brilliant. Yeah.
And you're just wanting to do the same for others?
Yes, definitely. Like, when I see them working, when I see them at the plant medicines and the things that they say, not just the energetic work, because I'm not saying anybody can do that, but we can. We all have that in us. But it's how they're coaching the clients and how they speak to them and how they make them realise the power that they have within them, and it's just so magical to watch, and it's so awe-inspiring. I'm just like, wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's just like, if you ever go to one of the ceremonies, you'll see and you just be like, yes, wow.
Yeah, I definitely think if I can't get this next intention out of the way on my own, I'd definitely like to attend.
Yeah.
I'd definitely like to, if I've got a reason enough to, I think that's when you are drawn to do it.
Yeah.
When you need that extra helping hand.
Not just because, and that's what I've been trying to work through with the plant medicine as well, because I was just, like I said to you, just taking them to connect or to solve little problems, or because I wanted to find another gift. That's my ego. Like, I want another gift, No. Like you said, get to terms with this gift that you've got. Start using it. Start sharing it. You're not even sharing it, Michelle. I'm not sharing it. I'm not online with it. I'm not sharing it. So why am I going to get another gift?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting little gifts, but
but
like...
not like your main tool to give out. And
Yes, yeah. I mean, to be fair, when I speak about it, I'm thinking, Michelle, you've got shitloads. What are you talking about?
It's in abundance, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. And like you say, you seem to be in this compassion that season, and it's
beautiful.
It's there's still things to work on. I think, like you said earlier as well, anger's definitely on front of my list that I need to sort out.
It's reactive.
Yeah.
And it's learning not to be reactive in
and
it.
It's like it's already got there. I'm already gritting my teeth, and it's like, whether it's parasites, whether it's just behaviours that I've seen from others, I think it's not just one thing. I think it's an additive of them all together, and me trying to unpack each one at a time and give it love and let it release and see where it came from. I really look at it and then just go, right, this isn't serving me anymore.
Because it's not going to come from what's actually making you angry.
No, it's knowing how it's not. You've not got to be reactive to the world. That's what energy's supposed to be felt, not held onto. Each time I think I clench down on my feet, it then gets stored in the body. I'm printing it. If I can make that sound right.
Yes, I feel it.
Yeah.
Like I felt it the same. Like, if I'm not, this is why sometimes even screaming into your pillow, or I go up to the quarry.
Yeah.
And I go up to the top of the quarry and I scream, like, and it just releases that. But I want something faster than that. Like, I don't want to hold it for even that long till I go up. Like, but you should just be able to just give yourself, just rage with it.
Yeah.
Give yourself, come in here and just scream as loud as you can. It sounds daft, but
no, you see it on loads of movies.
It
and
works.
all this,
It's unreal. Like, I've took my daughter-in-laws up to quarry, and we sat there, we all danced, and we just like, right, scream, and we feel so much better afterwards.
Yeah.
And that's why they call it pillow work as well.
Yeah. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, just scream into a pillow.
That's great.
Just scream and scream and scream until it feels like it's gone, and it's like you feel so much lighter afterwards.
I used to do that every time I've been out on a night out. And that next morning, and I were on about this to my colleague the other day, is even when I was drunk or whatever it was, or whatever, I'd always tell people what I thought of them, like, in a good way, like the potential, or that I really liked seeing. Like, if one of my friends had got with a new girlfriend, I'd say, I'm really happy for you, and send them this soppy message. And then in the morning I'd go, what were you doing? And that, I realise now, it's my ego having an argument with my soul in the morning. Yes. And I'm like, I've always been good underneath, even like under alcohol and stuff, but it's so cringy. Is love to the ego. Yeah, it don't like to feel it.
No, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird.
But I could go back. There'll be people watching this or hear it, and they might go, "Yeah, he sent me a message stuff weirdo," and now you understand where I'm coming from. But right, so we're gonna wrap it up because it's been absolutely enlightening.
How many hours have we been going now?
I don't know, because it's been on and off.
12 o'clock.
So not 12 hours. But is there a message that you could give out to the audience of something that might able to take
Put me
away.
on the spot, yeah.
I know, but it's something that just might come to the forefront of your mind of a takeaway that maybe they may able to start tomorrow
Okay.
to help them become the best version of themselves.
So listen to your gut. Listen to your gut. Like literally, you will feel anything that's out of line with you. I feel like I don't know if I'm talking to you or feeling like anything that's out of line with you, your gut will tell you. And if your gut's telling you, and I tell this to my kids, if it feels wrong, don't do it. If something feels wrong, if something isn't working or it feels wrong, step aside, take a look back. That's the start of getting in alignment, is by listening to your gut instinct. That's the main thing, I think, because we do these things. I mean, how many places, parties did you used to go to or whatever, and you think, I don't want to go there, but you went and something shit's happened there, something bad's happened. If your gut's telling you not to do something, it's because it knows better than you do.
Yeah.
It knows better than you do.
Yeah, it's your intuition, isn't it?
100%.
And
100%.
Again, that's like when we're in this state of overconsumption, we're blocking the gut from actually telling us as well, aren't we?
So that's another one. No overconsumption of drugs and alcohol. I'm not. What's the word?
We said it earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
It were fun, but it's to be left behind, isn't it?
Honestly, like since I've stopped doing all that, the shit food, the over-processed foods, the dairy, the meat, the drugs, the alcohol, I feel like a different person.
You feel alive, though.
I feel alive, and I feel like I breathe different. I'll see the world in a different. Yeah, it's so much better. You are a clearer channel, 100%.
Yeah. No, great. I know.
Your eyes are shut.
No,
I've taught him to sleep.
No, you aren't. Thank you for coming on, and I'm sure you'll be on again.
You.
And we'll put your details in the description for where we can find you.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Bye bye.